Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Monday Night Football, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and get settled in for Monday Night Football. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, we have running back stud Bijan Robinson. And on the right, we have Philadelphia's very own OG, Jalen Hurts. Let's go, baby. Should be a good competitive matchup. Obviously, there was a lot of hype between Atlanta, coming into the year. Kirk Cousins is there, right? You end up getting Judon and Simmons late, obviously, from the Patriots and the Broncos to help out that defensive side of the ball. Offensive line was always good. You got Drake London, you got Bijan, right? You got Kyle Pitts, supposed to be a big X factor. We're not really sure how healthy, Kirk Cousins really is. He says he's healthy, but when I watched the film in game one, I saw some throws and some looks where he did look healthy, but then I saw others where he wasn't really putting a lot of weight on that leg, with the follow through. So we'll have to wait and see. He may be scrambling for his life here tonight. But again, the Falcons are already 0-1. Eagles 1-0, winning in Brazil over the Packers. Must-win game for the Falcons to keep up with the Saints and the Bucks. Otherwise, you're going to be on the flip side, and you're going to be hanging with the Carolina Panthers. And incidentally, the Carolina Panthers just benched the number one pick, Bryce Young. It's not all his fault. There's a lot of injuries that have been happening with a lot of our fantasy teams. And again, there's going to be a lot of people benched. And Bryce Young, running back problems, offensive line problems, wide receiver problems, defensive problems, coach problems, GM problems, coordinator problems, owner problems. So it's more than just a Bryce Young type of thing. But the worst thing that they could do is go for a quarterback in the draft next year. They need to be able to build this from the ground up. But again, if you are a smart organization, you're going to make the right moves. If you're a dumb organization, you're going to make the wrong moves. And I'm not really sure when Carolina is going to be able to turn this ship around. They were the worst team last year. It looks like they're going to be the worst team this year, and they may be the worst team next year, even if they have a good draft and grab some free agents. It may take a very long time to catch up to not only the Falcons, but the top-tier teams, the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go, baby. And obviously, if you're taking a look at the injury report, I got Cooper Kupp in fantasy as my wide receiver too. He had his ankle rolled up on. He might go to IR. I already have Chubb on IR, Christian McCaffrey on IR. I mean, that's the last thing that I fucking need. And then I find out Deebo Samuel is going to be out for a few weeks as well. So there's a lot of superstar players, including A.J. Brown tonight. You're not going to see him. And I honestly feel, and we always say this every year, but I think we have more superstar injuries in the first 2 weeks this year than we've had in past years. Normally, it takes about a month to 2 months before some of these injuries start trickling in. But I haven't seen this many superstars out and also key role players on the offensive line within the first 2 weeks of the season. So there's going to be a lot of scrambling and a lot of gambling, and hopefully you drafted well and you have a good bench. Otherwise, if you ended up going heavy in a position, you're going to have to get rid of some of those guys to make room for some of the pieces that are injured. I know I'm going to have to be doing some maneuvering with my bench. There's definitely going to be guys that I want to hang on to, but I'm not going to be able to. I need to be able to stay afloat. I need to be able to stay alive. And not having my number one pick, Christian McCaffrey, not being able to have Chubb, obviously here for a couple more weeks, and then now not being able to have Cooper Kupp, really tough, really, really tough. But again, sometimes you just got to be able to survive, and you just got to be able to, stay afloat instead of drowning. And as long as you can stay afloat until those key guys come back, you might still be able to have a chance at the playoffs. Let's go, baby. Atlanta Falcons, ATL. the Dirty Birds versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles fly. Bijan Robinson, Jalen Hurts. Let's get buckled in and let's get ready to go. And again, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're going to shoot for 20 to 30 likes, 20 in the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I've gone through, but I know some of y'all have gone through it in the past or dealing with it right now. So if you are kind of hitting that darkness a little bit, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, hold yourself accountable, push a little bit. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy and you're eating fast food every day, stop that. Eat a little bit healthier. Listen to 30 minutes of music every single day. Spend time with friends, family, and pets. Get the toxic people out of your life. And if you make these minor adjustments, you'll be able to win the day and get back to your normal self. Big facts. Let's go, baby. I'm feeling a little old school. I got the Levante David rookie jersey from back in the day, about 10 years back. So I'm ready for a throwback type of game, and I can't wait to see what we got going here tonight. Derek in the building. What's good? And again, I'm going to do reaction videos every single week. The biggest fan base on the NFL side is always the Saints. They will always represent. And I think some of the new Saints fans to the channel are a little surprised. They're like, what is this guy wearing a Tampa Bay jersey and repping Tampa, being so kind, towards the Saints? And the thing is that, we have rivals, and obviously the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints are the biggest rivals to the Bucks. But one thing that I won't do is, give bad slander, or not appreciate greatness for what it is. And even if that's not on my team, I want to make sure that everyone knows the Saints are the real deal. I told you guys at the beginning of the year before the season started, I thought something special was cooking. Same thing with the Buccaneers. And the biggest sleepers right now for MVP are Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. And who would have thought? NFC South, stand up. And it's about damn time that somebody represents for the NFC South. We know the Panthers aren't going to be in it. The Falcons were hyped up, but you can't just take over the division when it's been run by the Saints and the Bucks all these years. I've won the division 3 years in a row. We're going for number 4, but the Saints are going to make it definitely difficult. But it's typically the Saints or the Bucks. The Falcons have been consistently third place. So again, just because you got Kirk Cousins, Justin Simmons, Matthew Judon, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to believe the Saints and Bucks are going to fade away, not so fast. And amazing. 47 points in the last regular season game against the Falcons last year in Week 18. 47 against the Panthers, but people said, oh, the Saints just played the Panthers. Who cares? They're the worst team. Watch other teams play the Panthers this year. A lot of them will not score 47. Tampa Bay scored 37 against the Commandos, and people said, well, you guys beat the Commanders. They're trash. They're not good. Then you fast forward to week 2, and I said, look out for some upsets. And what happened? The New Orleans Saints went to Dallas to the Big D, right? And what happened? They took care of business and scored 44, and they blew them out. Tampa Bay ended up taking care of business on the road in Detroit and beat the Lions. So don't ever underestimate the NFC South. Will always be the most disrespected and underrated. But when we're good, we're really, really good. And I can't wait to be able to see what happens between the Saints and the Bucks. I will definitely be doing live streams for both of those games, as well as reaction videos for the Saints and the Bucks all year round. The big difference is there's no Bucks fans on YouTube or on social media, but the Saints, they are everywhere. So again, I would rather have more Saints fans represent me than Bucks, and it's fun for me to be able to show some love and some appreciation. And I might be the only person that would be able to walk into Nolans the way that I dress and actually get respect and love. I might be the only Buccaneer fan or NFC South fan that's not a Saint fan that gets the same type of respect as other Saint fans rooting for their own team. And I really do appreciate that. And again, the Saints fans have always been good to me, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Let's go, baby. Carr and Baker, LFB, let's fucking bake. I can't wait to see what happens. Let's go. Amber in the building. What's good? Good to see you. It's been a minute. How are you? Yeah, I mean, we'll see on how everything kind of plays out. We would assume Philly is going to win big. And again, the mobility of Kirk Cousins, if they keep dropping games and they go to 1-3 or 0-4, don't be surprised if we get the rookie Michael Penix Jr. To be able to make a start. And honestly, I think Michael will be a better quarterback than Kirk this year. It just depends if they want to let him loose this year or to learn under Kirk for a year or two. I ended up busting out 3 reaction videos. They haven't really gained a whole lot of traction just yet, but if you want to support your boy, watch it and hit the like button. I did the Bengals and Chiefs, Seahawks and Patriots, Raiders and Ravens, and I'll do 3 more tomorrow as well. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you got a Twitter/X, do your boy a solid, like and retweet the live stream, and let's get to 100 in donos on this stream. Let's go, baby. How was your first day at work? You worked today, right, Matt? How did it go? All right, baby, here we go. Atlanta Falcons, 0-1. Philadelphia Eagles, 1-0. Let's fucking go. I'm ready. I mean, I got the Levante David throwback on. Of course I'm ready. We only wore these jerseys for like a year before they went back to the old school look. Nice return for Philly, and this might be a Saquon Barkley big day. Oh, you didn't go today? Oh, okay. 35-17 record. 69 passing TDs, 41 rushing. Most rushing TDs by a quarterback since 2020. And it's not going to be the same type of input that you're going to get because no Jason Kelce. Cam Jurgens is not in the same stratosphere or skill set. But again, they do have a good offensive line, and we'll see if they can be able to push the Atlanta Falcon defense around. And that was kind of the weak spot for the Falcons was the defense. But they picked up the Patriots, Matthew Judon, their best defender, as well as Justin Simmons from the Broncos, one of their top 2 with Patrick Surtain. Shotgun set. Jalen. There we go. Calcaterra. 15-yard gain from Calcaterra. They're like, who? Where's Dallas Goedert at, damn it? Let's go, baby. First down and 10. There are going to be a lot of newbies that are going to be getting looks. And obviously with Kellen Moore, he's going to have to kind of get in his bag. You don't have A.J. Brown, but you can still win this game with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and definitely Saquon Barkley, as well as Jalen Hurts using his arm and his legs. An eligible man downfield. Replay, first down. First down and 15. Shotgun set for Hurts. With a little bit of a keeper, bouncing it to the outside. Short, minimal game. Good coverage there by the Falcons. Second down. Second down and 14. Little screen. Third down and 9. No, it's all good. If you, whenever you got to dip out, just let me know, Matt, and it's all good. So, Trevor, I live in Oregon, and I'm a Pacific Northwest fan. So it's, Blazers, Oregon Ducks, Seattle Mariners, Seattle Kraken. And I could have been a Seahawk or a Niner or a Raider or a Charger, like a West Coast team. But back, when I was, maybe around 12 or 13, I didn't really want to hop on the Niner bandwagon with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. And that was really the team I liked watching the most back then. But I'm more of a defensive fan, like a linebacker, safety kind of guy. Jalen Hurts with the keeper. And he's not going anywhere on 3rd and 9. That one goes down to maybe a gain of 3. 4th down at 6. And the Philly fans start to boo a little bit there off that first drive. Not ideal for Philly. But then I decided, to wait. And 94, Steve Young and Jerry Rice and Dion was there. And I really liked Dion. But then Dion left to the Cowboys in 95. Now, if he would have stayed in 95, the Niners would have won again, and maybe I would have been a Niner fan. But I waited one more year. Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks got drafted by the Bucs. John Lynch was already there. That was kind of my type of guy, as well as Rondé Barber and Mike Alstott. And then, the rest is history. So, again, I'm more of a defensive-minded type of fan. And, again, if I like offense, I need beast mode athletes like Mike Alstott, like a one of one. And I felt that was a better fit for me, as a fan, instead of just being a Seahawks fan, because they didn't really have defenders that were on my, kind of skill set and level. Now, if the Legion of Boom was back in the 90s, I definitely would have been a Seahawks fan, and it would have been all Seattle Seahawks, Mariners, Kraken, and obviously Blazers and Ducks, because I live in Oregon. But that's kind of the backstory. And also, I watched a lot of Oregon Duck and Florida Gator football back in the day. And then they had Steve Spurrier with that spread offense, Rydell Anthony, Jaquez Green, Ike Hilliard. 2 out of those 3 went to Tampa right away. And then Ike went to the Giants and eventually went to Tampa. And that was another reason why. So, again, it's not like I hate offense, but I'm always going to be a defensive-minded fan. And I appreciate the people that are underappreciated. The offensive line, the defense, the coaching, the play calling, that type of aspect. So I hope that answers your question. What's good? Missed you. Hope you're doing well. Daniel in the building. What's good? Jordan in the building. What's good? How are you? Let's go, baby. Let's see what the Atlanta Falcons have, and we'll have spinning logos in the top right to designate possession. So obviously we got the Eagle one there. We got the Atlanta Falcon one here. And then when we end up going to halftime, we can always use the NFL spinning logo. Let's go. And we'll see if Kirk Cousins can get it to, Bijan and Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and if we can actually have an offense that's worth talking about. But again, in game number 1, Atlanta did not look good. They could barely move the football, and Kirk Cousins was having a hard time pushing off that back leg they had surgery on. So we'll see, how it all goes. But like I was mentioning, Trevor, that's the only team that's not in Oregon and Washington that I represent. I watch a little bit of everything, WWE, NASCAR Cup. I like UFC, I like boxing. But as far as basketball, I wouldn't even really consider myself a Blazer fan anymore because I don't watch them like I used to. But obviously they're the hometown team, and I don't really like the NBA anymore, to be honest. But Kraken for hockey, Mariners. I met Ken Griffey Jr., back when I was 7 years old in his rookie year in '89. So the rest is history about that. Obviously, Tampa Bay Bucks, Oregon Ducks. And so those are the major teams that I follow. Ducks, Bucks, and then obviously the Kraken. And I guess you could say Blazers if you want to mention them. Let's go, baby. I love the NFC South. I feel it really embodies my personality and who I am. And again, like I said, sometimes you just have to find those players that you connect to or coaches. Man in motion, Cousins, hands off to Bijan. Rumbling and a bumbling. Nice game there. Gain of 7, second down and 3 to the Atlanta 15. Have you got a chance to watch any of the reaction videos from week 1 or week 2, Amber? I'm always going to get more views from the Saints fans than any other fan base. There'll be others that will break 1,000, but usually with the Saints fans, I'll hit like 2,000 to 5,000 every week. And I really do appreciate that. And if more Saints fans share it, then I'll get some more new Saints fans to be able to know who I am. First down, Falcons. Bijan hitting the spin cycle. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. Oh, you're a Bulls fan? Did you grow up in the Jordan Pippen era back in the day? I mean, there's a lot of Bulls fans, from back in the day, obviously with Jordan, Pippen, Horace Grant, right? Bill Cartwright, going back to Stacey King, Bill Wennington, Tony Kukoc, Rodman, B.J. Armstrong. I can go on and on and on, brother. First down and 10, play action fake. Cousins, tipped, almost intercepted. Yeah, if you can get on those, I think you'll be surprised because I have thumbnails that are brand new this season that I made everything look good. So there's no bad thumbnails or inadequate thumbnails anymore. So I got my own personal image on there and the thumbnails are fire. And then the format of the reaction video is completely different. Instead of full screen with a little box of me in the corner, now it kind of looks like a YouTube page where you're going to get the highlight with the YouTube video on the left. And then you're going to see a big box of me on the right. Very streamlined, very clean. It almost looks like a TV broadcast. And a lot of fans have really liked the new look. And that's the way that the reaction videos are going to look, the thumbnails as well as the background moving forward. Unless I find something that looks even better, I'm always willing to, upgrade the channel, every single year, every single month. If I find something I can add to it, like spinning logos and the ticker, I'm always going to make it the best of the best for you guys. 3rd down and 4 on the Atlanta 28. Okay. You're 34. Nice. Now, even though I look like I'm young, I'm 42. So I was born in 82. So I grew up in the video game and obviously the best sports and wrestling era of all time. Bajan drops it. What happened to my hands? Like, I grew up with Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Nintendo 64, PlayStation, grew up with the internet. The internet came out when I was 13. So it's like I really grew up to see the best wrestlers, NWO, DX, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, Demolition, Legion of Doom, RVD, Sabu, whatever, direction that you want to go. So, compared to a lot of the athletes that are out now, like especially in the NBA, they can't hang with the guys that I used to watch in the 80s and 90s. Another juke, hit him with another. Decent return there for the Eagles. Yeah, and again, I think you're really going to like the reaction videos itself. And most of the people that are watching are the same people that have been watching me since I started the channel in 2017. Hyping up, obviously, the Saints and the Eagles. And, even though I'm a Bucs fan, I'm not going to be a hater. And I feel that there's plenty of haters that are already out there and a lot of people that have their own agenda, where they're saying the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl every year. And that shit gets old. We want to actually have real facts with good analytics instead of just people having hot takes and yelling at each other. And I feel that type of sports talk is dead. If you look at, even shows like the Pat McAfee show and Good Morning Football, those are a shell of themselves from what they were even from a couple years ago. And then Skip and Shannon and all these other shows that people used to enjoy. I feel like the era of sports talk, podcasting, and just overall broadcasting for sports is at its all-time low. So that gives an opportunity for people like me and other talented individuals on YouTube to be able to grab that audience that's looking for a connection and then being able to find someone that is passionate about sports and their teams and players, but also not a hater and appreciating greatness on the opposite team, even if it ends up being the main rival, the New Orleans Saints. I mean, I love Lattimore, even though he beeps with Mike Evans. I like Cam Jordan. I like DeMario Davis, a.k.a. The Glue. I like Olave. I like Rashid Shaheed. I like what Carr's doing. And you guys already know how I feel about AK-41, Alvin Kamara. 4 tutties. He could have had almost 6, tying that Christmas game from a few years ago, but they obviously went with a little bit of a sneak with Carr on another and Taysom Hill. So I'd like to be able to see the Saints continue this dominance, and I can't wait to see who wins the NFC South this year. Saints, Bucks, who knows? But one thing I do know, Carr and Baker are sleeper, MVP candidates this year, and I don't think anyone would have assumed that. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Try to get to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. All right, we're 3 away from 10. If you're in the room and haven't done it yet, please do. Smash that like button for your boy so we can get to 10, then 20, and hit the algorithm. Appreciate you guys. We're at 9. 1 more to go. Lots of injuries, man. Cooper Kupp, injured, right? Deebo Samuel, injured. A.J. Brown, injured. Christian McCaffrey, injured. There's a lot of big top-tier talent, and if you play fantasy football, it's probably affected your team as well, depending on if you end up having any of those players that I mentioned or a few others. All right, first down and 10, 9:55 left here in the first quarter. Let's see what Philadelphia can do now with and their second possession. Man in motion, first down and 10. Dalen hands it off. Saquon, there we go. 9-yard gain, almost a first down. Second down and 1 on the Philly 45. Nice job, Saquon. Locked in the building. What's good, brother? Cooper Kupp with an injury, probably going to IR. Man, all of our favorite players on our fantasy teams are going down. Debo's going down. Cooper Kupp is down. CMC is down. I mean, I get hit with injuries, but not normally this many within the first 2 weeks. Like, this is brutal. Probably the most significant injuries I've had in the first 2 weeks, maybe ever. But again, I'm not afraid. I still think I can stay afloat, but I'm definitely going to have to maneuver my bench a little bit and get rid of some guys and try to get some depth for some other positions. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Injuries are brutal. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Handoff. Saquon. Hit him with the shimmy and the shake. Another gain of 8 or 9 on that particular carry. Second down and 1 on the Atlanta 40. And we'll be doing Yankees and Mariners tomorrow and on Wednesday. I'm very excited about that. Shotgun set. Play action fake. Hurts. Got Saquon in the flat, but decides to go the other way. Calcaterra with the catch. Good for 4 yards there. In my personal opinion, I don't think Atlanta has any chance of getting second place or first place this year. The Saints and the Bucs would have to have a shitload of injuries for that to happen. I do think that the Falcons will get better as the season goes on, but I don't think they're on the same level, with the Bucs and the Saints based off the talent level and the depth and the coaching, and the play calling. Again, Atlanta was a team that the media hyped up, but a lot of Bucs and Saints fans weren't sold. We knew that they would be better, but if you can't win week 1, right out of the gates, and when you're playing a team like the Steelers, that says it all. So again, Kirk is not healthy. Now, if they had Michael Penix Jr. from the very start, maybe things would be a little bit different, but I don't think that the Falcons, if I was going to grade it from like 0% chance to 100% chance the Falcons could get first or second, I would say they probably got a 5 to 10% chance to get second place, but that would mean the Saints and Bucs would have to get really injured for that to happen. Like, we're talking Carr going down, Baker going down, Evans going down, Kamara going down, Cam Jordan going down, Demario Davis going down, Levante David going down, and I don't think that's going to happen. You might see a couple go down, but hopefully for our teams, fingers crossed, that we can stay healthy and we can battle it out for the NFC South crown, and we both can go to the playoffs and beat some ass. Same thing with the Seahawks there for Reflect and a lot of the Hawk fans on the channel, starting off the year with a new coach, 2-0. It feels good. First down and 10, shotgun set, Hurts, handoff. Gainwell, crafty RB2. Short gain there. Yeah, Njoku got hurt. Mixon, hopefully it won't be serious. Maybe, a week or two, but it could be longer. But again, it seems like almost every team has gotten 1 or 2 key pieces that have been injured already. There's not many teams that have been unscathed with injuries with superstars so far. I was actually going through everyone's roster today and comparing all my injuries to everyone else, and it's tough. Second down and 6. Shotgun set for Hurts. Handoff. Gainwell again. Good defense there by the Falcons, and they added Matthew Judon from the Patriots as well as Justin Simmons from the Broncos, and that'll definitely help, but they still are a little weak on that side of the ball. Their strong suit is going to be definitely the offensive line and their offensive personnel, but I don't know about their owner, head coach, GM, and coordinators, OC and DC. I'm not really sure if Atlanta's got the right pieces in place for them to be successful long term. Yeah, I'm going to have to maneuver on the wire, and I'm going to have to drop a lot of people. I'm not going to be able to hang on to 3 quarterbacks. I'm going to have to, figure out what I need to do, especially with Kupp being maybe on IR. That's terrible. I'm thin at wide receiver as it is. Hurts, back of the end zone, incomplete. I was banking on Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp hopefully staying healthy, and then having a couple, wide receiver 2s as fillers to fill in with maybe Mike Evans and a wide receiver 2, or Cooper Kupp with a wide receiver 2 to keep me afloat by going running back heavy. And man, I just wasn't anticipating CMC and Cooper Kupp having these significant injuries, and hopefully Chubb will be ready immediately, because I could really use Chubb's dominance. The old Chubb, even though Jerome Ford is pretty good, but if Nick Chubb can be healthy, that could be an X factor for me. 4th down and 4. They're going for it. I would have kicked the field goal here. And now they call time. Go for the field goal here. But I think a big part of the hype, Amber, a lot of the people who are hyping the Falcons, is for the simple fact, not that they thought that the Saints and Bucks are dog shit, but every year, right, when good teams are good, the previous year, what happens? Some of the good teams are not good, right? And they don't make the playoffs, or they go from first place to third place. But also, we get a lot of teams that go from last, worst to first, and third to first, or third to second. So I think that was the mentality for the media, that they just assumed that Baker wasn't going to bake, Carr wasn't going to be Carr, right? And that they would be just average. And then the Falcons would have Kirk Cousins and Bashan, and Kyle Pitts is going to be a top 5 tight end now. Drake London. Ooh, they got Justin Simmons from the Broncos and Judon. Watch out. Falcons are here. And then they lost game 1 against the Steelers. So, again, all that hype to be squashed right away in week 1 was tough. But I think that was a big part of it, too. 4th down and 4. Why are they going for it? Kick the field goal. You got Jake Elliott. Dumb. Shotgun set. Hurts. Scrambling. Bootleg. Looking for a man. Boo! Boo! What is Philly doing? Sirianni and company, what is that? Are you trying to let the Falcons stay in this game? Kick the damn field goal. Thank you. You do too, though. And again, I work harder than anyone in any fantasy league. I'm on it 4 hours a day. I stay up all night long. I click on more names on the wire, and then on my own team, on the bench, and the starters, as well as the opponents. Like, I know everyone's team probably better than they do. I know when their bye weeks are going to be the weakest. I know when they're going to be the strongest. I know what positions they're weak at and what they're strong at. So I have to use that to my advantage to calculate on who to get in what particular week. And sometimes I have to grab guys a week early just to be able to get the guy. Because if I wait until the week of the wire, I'm going to be 10th on the wire every week. I'm not going to be able to get priority. So I have to, find my own way to be able to even out, obviously, the wire order. So even though I pick last every week, but if I end up staying up in the middle of the night and I can grab 2 or 3 players that I know that would have gotten grabbed at 7 a.m. by someone else in the room, then I end up building my team up, and I end up getting 3 or 4 pieces instead of maybe 1, and then having to, kind of get worried and like, what the hell am I going to do now? So, we'll see on how it goes, but yeah, not ideal, with the injuries. I definitely was a little shocked to hear that, Cooper Kupp might go on IR and McCaffrey's already there. And I mean, I already got Jordan Mason. I had to use Charbonnet, so it's like, I'm okay using a backup running back as long as they're going to get touches and they're going to get looks, for passes. But ideally, I would rather use starters, but sometimes you're forced to go that route. But at least Jordan Mason has looked like a very good replacement, not a guy, going for 10 points. He's a guy that's going to get 15 to 25. McCaffrey was averaging 24.5 last year. Madden curse. Maybe I should have took Breece Hall in the draft. That would have been probably my second choice over Bajan, even though Tyreek was enticing, but taking Tyreek would have been a big bugaboo. They don't even have Tua anymore. So I'm glad I didn't do that. And, you coulda, shoulda, woulda, but again, I still like the fact that I have athletes like McCaffrey and Kupp, and when they do get healthy, I think that I'm going to do a lot of damage later in the year and scoring 130, 140, 150, 160, maybe even 200 once or twice, but I'm going to have to wait until probably week 5, week 6, until I have my master lineup where I'm going to be dominant from 1 through 9, but right now I just have to do the best that I can, so. Yeah, I don't know. Hand off to Bajan. Good tackle. Jacoby Dean from Georgia. Nice tackle. 2nd down and 8 on the Atlanta 11. I don't understand, what the mentality is for some of these teams thinking that that is such a great decision, to be going for it. Like, it's early in the game, take it. Take what's there for you. But I don't know. I guess that's just how things go nowadays. Nice job, Bajan. I mean, it's like everyone turned into like the Oregon Ducks and Chip Kelly. Like, they just give no fucks. High school, college, pro. It doesn't matter if it's the first quarter and the first drive. Like, you're not satisfied with 3? Like, who the hell do you think you are? You think you're that much better than the rest of the league that you're not even worth going for 3? Like, I mean, at this point, maybe that'll be a little bit of karma, and maybe the Eagles will end up losing by 3. Sometimes that has a way of coming back to bite you when you end up being arrogant and you end up being overly aggressive. And then, again, 3 is 3, but we know in the NFL, sometimes it's hard to score and crazy shit happens. But again, 7 is always sexier than 3, but a lot of times you got to take the 3 to get to your 7, right? But that was definitely a dumb move. You don't have A.J. Brown. What would make you think that you're so good that you can't go for 3? Dumb. Nice tackle by Philly there on 2nd down and 7. 3rd down and 4 on the Atlanta 31. Algier, another good running back there. Allen in the building. What's good? Yep. Exactly. You just never know how the game plan is going to work out. A big interception, a big fumble. You never know how Uncle Mo will wrap his hands around a game and change it completely. Shotgun set. Nearly intercepted. Almost a big pick there. Maybe the Eagles are overly confident because they beat the Packers in Brazil. Is that it? Like, they think they got Saquon and they're just going to run through the whole division. And, I mean, obviously we know the Commandos are bad. The Giants are even worse, right? So their only competition is Dallas, and Dallas doesn't really look as good as they did maybe last year, but it's still early in the season. And they played 2 tough defenses in the Browns and the Saints. So I do think in a couple weeks when they play the Giants on the road, Dak better play good in that game. Otherwise, if he doesn't, and he still ends up, scoring 10 to 12 points in fantasy, they're going to be in trouble, because not only is CeeDee Lamb's fantasy value going to go down a little bit, but Zeke and the rest of the guys in the running back room, I think they're missing a little bit of Tony Pollard. And again, the offensive line and the defense for the Cowboys need to be better. Offensive line, defense, special teams. And I think that they will get better as the season goes on. But I think it's just kind of like the schedule wasn't really too fair to them to start off. And a lot of times, if you got an easy schedule, right, you can end up getting off to a good start. But you got to be able to see, is this team for real? Or is this like a Fugazi 2-0? Like, we see the Vikings and the Chargers are 2-0, but is it for real? We're going to have to wait a few more weeks to see if they can continue the win streak or not. And then if they can, plateau and stay there, or if it's going to be a fake 2-0, and then they're going to come back to reality and end up being 2-2 in a couple weeks. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, exactly. You got to take the 3, no matter what. You don't know what the score is going to be at the end of the game. You don't know if Jake Elliott end up missing a field goal in the second half, or, how the flow of this game is going to go. So, a lot of people might have thought that this game was going to be 31-28 or, 28-24. But what happens if this game ends up being 2017, or something of that nature, And if you end up losing 2017 Philadelphia, you'll go back and remember that possession that you could have had a chip, right? You could have had a chip shot there. But, it is what it is. Yeah, I already looked at the schedule, and again, I got Dak obviously, as my third string quarterback with AR and Baker. But I'm about to drop Dak because I have wide receiver and tight end issues, and I got all kinds of fucking issues. And Cooper Kupp injured, CMC injured, so I'm going to have to let him go. And he hasn't really been that good so far. He's only had 10 to 12 points in the first 2 weeks, which for Dak is bad. Dak was the quarterback that was number 3 fantasy quarterback last year and had the most touchdown passes out of any quarterback. That's the quarterback I thought I was getting on my bench. But so far early in the season, that is not who I ended up getting. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to Dak, and I know someone will pick him up and put him on their bench. And, if they get a chance to use him in the future, good luck. Hopefully it works out. But Baker is a better quarterback this year than Dak, and I'm going to start Baker probably here on out. Unless AR's got a good matchup, because I can't afford 1 touchdown and 3 picks again, getting a fucking 9 with AR. But all the quarterbacks in week number 2 did shitty for the most part. But I'm going to have to be very selective on when I start Richardson. When he's on, he can get me 20 to 45 points. But when he's off, he might get me 5 to 9. And I'm not going to be able to win if I score 5 to 9 points with my quarterback and if I have a couple other low numbers. Like, this week I ended up having a 7 and a 7 with Kupp and Evans. Are you fucking kidding me? And then a 3 with Laporta. I mean, fuck my life. That's ridiculous. 4 out of my 9 scored a 9 or less. That's bullshit. But, it happens. Sam Laporta is not getting targets, and maybe I should have took Brock Bowers as the first tight end off the board. That looks like that would have been the smart choice, because Laporta doesn't look like he's going to get the ball all year. He's a second-year player. I get it if Kelsey doesn't get the ball anymore, but wild. Even Amon-Ra getting the looks. J-Mo is getting more looks than Montgomery and Gibbs, at least in the first 2 games. But I've never seen an offense change so much from one year to the next after having success. Like, you were built when Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Laporta. J-Mo was hurt, but now J-Mo is back. But now you're totally ignoring Amon-Ra and Laporta. Weird. Good luck to the Lions, but if you don't start going to Amon-Ra and Laporta, you're going to be fucked. I'll tell you that right now. The Lions won't make it to the Super Bowl if they don't get their best players the damn ball, regardless if it helps me in fantasy or not. 3rd down and 4. As we're winding down to the end of the first quarter, knotted up at 0. That should be 3-0. Shotgun set. Jalen. Avoids the sack lunch. Bootleg. Broken up. Incomplete. Yeah, Baker has been great. I mean, hell, Carr's even better than Dak at this point, but I do think Dak will be better later in the season against easier opponents. They're tough against the Browns and Saints D. Obviously, if you started off the year playing, the Falcons and the Panthers, things would be different. The Cowboys would be 2-0. But again, the schedule makers made it tough early for Dallas this year, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better for Allen and anybody that's a Cowboy fan or a Dak fan. And also Dak got paid, so maybe, he's like, I got my money now. So now, and sometimes that happens, right? Where you play really hard until you get your money, and then you get your money, and then they don't play good anymore, right? They're like, I'm rich now, bitch, right? I got all the money. Dak Prescott was like this after he signed his contract, right? He's like, do I need to play hard anymore? Let me swim in my $100 bills, And I don't think that's Dak, really his type of personality. But if you go back and look, to see at a lot of quarterbacks or players that end up getting paid, some of them do significantly drop off after the money is in their bank account. Facts. So hopefully for Dak, that's not the case. And like that article that you sent me and those other articles that I sent you, it feels like things are changing a little bit. They said, it's a passing league. It's a passing league. But again, it's kind of getting back to a half and half league with the running and the passing. London's there. First down, Falcons, because it was a running league with like Barry Sanders and Emmett, back in the day. Then it kind of turned into a passing league, within the last 10 to 15 years. But then this year, it's kind of a little bit of a mix. Like, you're still getting teams that are going heavy with the pass, but also you're getting teams that are going heavy with the run to kind of counteract that balance. Nice catch there by Drake London, the USC product. End of the first quarter, 0-0. Should be 3-0 Philly. But I knew grabbing Baker, before, all of the weeks started to accumulate, I knew on the wire before going into week 2, when everyone was sleeping, that I should grab guys like Baker and Dak, and just throw them on the bench just to kind of see what happens in the first 2 weeks. Because I did have a feeling that Baker could be a sleeper MVP candidate, and that the Bucks could be pretty good this year. We got Jalen McMillan from the Huskies, Bucky Irving. This is the deepest that our offense has been based off running backs and wide receivers. We drafted Graham Barton from Duke, who can play center, guard, or tackle with Tristan Wirfs, right? We had a lot of injuries. 5 starters were out, including Antoine Winfield Jr., and we still gave up 5 sack lunches to Aiden Hutchinson, but still won the game. And again, we lost the Lions twice last year, one at home when we wore the creamsicles, one in the playoffs, and we got our fucking revenge, and it felt fucking good. And again, maybe the Bucks will be the Lions of last year, and I'm really hoping that the Saints and Bucks can represent for the NFC South. And again, the Seattle Seahawks with a flex team, sometimes when you end up firing your coach that's been there for a long time like Pete Carroll, you bring someone new in, right, that's a defensive mind. And what was the thing that Seattle was the worst at? Offensive line and defense. And what has improved since McDonald has come to the Seahawks? The offensive line and the defense. And coincidentally, McDonald with the Seahawks, 2-0. He left the Ravens. The Ravens are 0-2. Coincidence? I think not. So again, Seattle did a great job getting the right guy, and they could have got, the Lions OC, but I think by getting McDonald, even if you had a choice of one or the other, or Slovic or any of these other guys, I really do think the defense and the O-line, that's what needed to be corrected, and I really like the 2-0 start, and there's a chance that if there's more injuries to the Niners, Seattle could finish in first place this year with a 10 to 12 win record. 10-7, 11-6, 12-5 is very possible, especially when you're starting off 2-0. I see you. Oh man, it's going to be fucking wild, brother. I can't wait. I just love being not biased, because everyone on TV, everyone in podcasting, everyone on a goddamn YouTube channel or Twitch is. So it's just kind of nice and refreshing when you can get stats, analytics, and you can just appreciate greatness even with the rival teams. It's a very rare thing. I mean, that's why I think that people really, look out for me, because I'm not really built like anybody else, obviously in the sports streaming world, even when it's a baseball stream or basketball or football or hockey, you always want to respect the other teams, because if you don't, and you end up talking shit all the time, you're going to be like the Philadelphia Eagles or like the Commandos, where you're like, fuck Carson Wentz, fuck Donovan McNabb as like a Washington Redskin fan or Commando fan. 4 years later, what happened? That ended up being your new quarterback. So you always want to make sure that you're not biased and you're keeping it honest and real. First down, Falcons. Algier, a little shifty back there. Yes, sir. Yeah, Tariq Woolen, one of the highest graded corners. Charles Cross struggled early in his career, one of the highest graded offensive linemen. Like, everything is working out beautifully. There we go. And you had no Kenneth Walker III, and you still won. And I don't care. People say, oh, it's the Patriots. The Patriots are better this year than anticipated. They may end up winning 5 to 8 games this year instead of 0-4, like a lot of people thought. And I don't think anyone really thought 0. Maybe the Panthers will be at 0, but I think a lot of people thought Patriots would probably win, realistically, probably 2-4 or 2-5 games. And I think that they may end up getting more than that. Jacoby Brissett, Drake May hasn't even played yet, and they lost Judon, but it doesn't really matter. But I saw that they did lose their linebacker, obviously with a season-ending torn pec. Uh-oh, fumble. Coughed it up. Who's got it? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Bijan, Butterfingers. All right, we're at 15. We need 5 more likes to get to 20. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 16. 4 more to get to 20. And we'll always be shooting for 100 in the donos on every stream. Hand off, up the gut, short game. 3rd down and 10. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've already, appreciated everything. I mean, if you go and look at my reaction videos, the Saints fan base is my #1 fan base for NFL. And I'm a Bucks fan. That's unheard of. That's like me being an Eagle fan, an Eagle streamer, and my biggest fan base is the Cowboys. Or me being a Seahawks streamer, and my biggest fan base is the Niners. It's just unheard of. But again, I really do appreciate the support. And again, I keep it honest and I keep it real. Greatness is greatness. It doesn't matter about the name in the front. It's about the name in the back. 3rd down and 9. Oh, we got a blown whistle here, a flag, or a timeout. What's going on here? Timeout. Watch out for Jalen Carter. He likes injuring people. Yeah, but I 100% agree. And even though I'm a Bucs fan and I'm confident with LFB, let's fucking bake with Baker and our offensive additions and our defense, I understand how good the Saints are. They put up 47 against the Falcons in Week 18 last year, 47 against the Panthers, 44 against the Cowboys. I mean, and the difference is Alvin Kamara being there in the first month instead of having Jamal Williams as your starting running back. The offensive line is better. The play calling is better. The coaching is better. The defense is better. And Carr is better. You know, so again, everything is better this year, and it shows. Josh D with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. Again, when you beat the Panthers, you score 47 on them, people don't think that you're going to be able to do it on the road. But something felt different to me this year, and I had a feeling that the Saints and Bucs were both going to upset the Cowboys and the Lions, and we did. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Or that might have been a 1-yard gain. 4th down and 8. Eagles defense stepping up, and we still got a 0-0 game. Should be 3-0, but the Eagles decided not to go for a field goal because they're too good for it. Let me know what you want to do for photos. If you got a favorite Saint player, and again, I can throw that up. It can be past or present. I got you. We're at 5:95 to go. Appreciate you, Josh D. Young Hui Koo. Kick is up, and it's good. Koo is typically automatic. Ghana has a soccer kick type of release, like Aubrey for the Cowboys, and they end up getting on the board 3-0. It'll be so funny and ironic if the Eagles lose by 3 when they decided to pass on a field goal on the first drive because they were too good for it. Went for it on 4th down, and it was like the dumbest play call you could have had at that point in the game, but hopefully they'll learn from it. Yeah, you know why he's bad? He's a bad man because he went to Oregon State, brother, sister. You know why? That's why. Because, people always want to underestimate people from Oregon State, or Washington State. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of athletes that were in the Pac-12 that were very underrated, underutilized, and underappreciated. And, getting a piece like this and adding that on, again, a lot of people that live in the South may not be following Oregon or Oregon State or Washington State unless you watch my channel. But I'm telling you, when you get the right pieces, it makes all the difference. And he looks good in the Saints colors. Look at him in the Oregon State Beavs. And then here's him in the nice Saint uniform. And I appreciate you being able to shout out a player that normally isn't going to get a whole lot of love. Offensive linemen are like my favorite, as well as defensive linemen, linebackers, safeties, kickers, punters, coaches, play callers, OCs, GMs, head coaches. I like the underappreciated and balling, period. I got you. Yeah, but if you're looking at the way that you guys have looked this year compared to the Eagles, depending on if A.J. Brown and, they don't have Kelsey anymore, if your defense can get pressure, I still think you guys can beat them. We got the Broncos, so I know we're going to win that one against Bo Nix, and we're going to be 3-0. So if you guys want to be able to keep up with the pace, I know it'll be a difficult game, but I definitely think the Saints have a good chance to win against Philadelphia, regardless if it's at home or on the road. And that's just me being honest as a Bucs fan and an NFC South fan. You guys have showed not a lot of weaknesses. I mean, you guys have scored 91. 91 in the first 2 weeks. How many teams could do that? Not many. Yeah. And you got to be able to fix that line. We had problems with Andrews Pete in the past and some of the others, right? Offensive line had name recognition, but sometimes the guys didn't play up to their name recognition. And it's nice to see that everything is flowing for them this year. They were top to bottom. If you actually go back and you look at all of the teams top to bottom, we were the best conference top to bottom. Again, the Big Ten was heavy at the top. The SEC was heavy at the top. But in the middle and the bottom, our middle and bottom teams were better than their middle bottom team. So this is not bias. This is honest truth. Who do you root for, Josh? What about you, Trevor? Who are your teams? Josh and Trevor, who do you guys represent? Obviously, Josh is a Saints fan, but what else besides that? Anything else that you guys follow? First down and 10? Little short game. Saints and Bengals. Nice. Let's get to a hundo, baby. Let's do it. Play action fake for Hurts on 2nd down and 6. Steps up in the pocket. Little floater. Devontae Smith with the catch, and he's got to be the number 1 now with no A.J. Brown. On the Bengals since Burrow went there. Unfortunately, with the Bengals, no Joe Mixon, no Tyler Boyd. That is a fucking problem. And again, Jamar Chase wants more money. It's just a team that's distracted. And I don't really know if Joe Burrow is going to be able to get back to the Super Bowl anytime soon. To act like Tyler Boyd didn't matter, to act like Joe Mixon doesn't matter. And you can have Zach Moss and you can have a couple other guys, Chase Brown, but both of those guys combined aren't even close to Joe Mixon. So, and if the defense, T-Rex is there, former Saint, they have some pieces. But again, I kind of felt like once Jesse Bates III left, things started to change. And again, I love Joe Burrow, but I just don't know if that team is ever going to be good enough to where they were before to where they're at now. It may take a few years, and it may have to wait till like Burrow's end of his career before he makes another Super Bowl run. I hope it's not that long, but the AFC is tough. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and there's going to be other quarterbacks that are up and coming that are going to try to take that spot as well. Judon with a nice tackle there. Yeah, and obviously Mahomes hasn't been as good in the last couple of years. It seems like he does get bailed out pretty often. He gets bailed out more than any quarterback in the NFL. That's why the NFL conspiracy theorists think that they got the refs in the back pocket, because almost every time there's a penalty at the end of the game when Mahomes throws, they end up picking it up or they end up calling the foul on the other team. And I would say that probably 80% of the time it's legit, but there's 20% where it's like 50-50 and they just automatically give it to the Chiefs. And obviously that's not right, but we'll have to see on how that goes, moving forward. But, I do like Burrow a lot, but I don't think we can say Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL anymore behind, Patrick Mahomes. The way that Josh Allen has been playing, as well as a few others, Burrow is still probably a top 10 quarterback. I don't even know if he's top 5 anymore, based on the talent of the other quarterbacks coming up in this league. But I still think he's uber talented. He just needs better support, better O-line, better running back, and better weapons. And if he gets that, then he'll get back to where he was. 4th down and 3. Eagles going for it again. Ridiculous. Hurts, scrambling, gambling, running for the first down. First down, Eagles. Megan in the building. What's good? But I really feel the biggest, that's a flag on the play, is it holding? The biggest part about the Bengals' demise to me is Joe Mixon. Him going over to the Texans is huge with Stephon Diggs. But with the Bills, Diggs is kind of a cancer. So I feel like they had got better, addition by subtraction. And they lost like 5 starters on D, but Allen is not throwing as many picks anymore. forcing it into Gabe Davis or Diggs, and they're no longer there. So I feel like the Bills are better without Diggs. Delay a game for the spike on Jalen there. And then you saw the Kraken news, right, Megan, for the Kraken Network on Prime. And we got Linda Cohn to be a part of the Kraken interview team. Very cool. You know, and she's been on ESPN for like 50 years. So very cool to have Linda Cohn be a part of the Kraken organization doing interviews and whatnot. And then the Kraken got their own network on Prime. I'm so stoked. It's going to be so awesome when we get into NHL season. First down and 10 on the Atlanta 18. Yeah, there's all kinds of news. Go on social media. Go to Kraken on Twitter/X and Instagram. They got all kinds of stuff early this morning and this afternoon about Linda Cohn, the OG, sports, announcer, caster that, has been doing sports for a long time. She's going to be a part of the Kraken family. Super stoked because she's a grinder and she's very intelligent. So I love that. And then we're going to be on the Amazon Prime and the Kraken Network. Fucking cool. Saquon stuffed on first down and 15. We're at 5:95 to go. Yeah, I was going to send it to you, but sometimes I feel like with a lot of us, looking at the same type of social media post, a lot of times we both already see it anyways. So it's almost like a waste to send it to someone else that is already going to see it. But sometimes, we're busy or it's like breaking news and we want to share it. But I figured that you were going to end up seeing it at some point or another. So second down and 20 for the Eagles. It shows you with no A.J. Brown, this offense looks dramatically different. And the Falcons are bringing their A game. They are a desperate 0-1 team. Jalen taking off. Nice tackle. He's got to be careful on how he holds that football. Otherwise, it's going to get punched out or stripped out, I imagine. And I did 3 reaction videos today to, kind of take care of the fans. Even if some of them aren't really getting a whole lot of traction yet. I did Bengals Chiefs. I did Seahawks Patriots for Megan, Reflect, Marcos, Cap Norio, and all the Hawks fans. And I did Raiders and Ravens for A Guy. Even though I knew some of the games would be a little bit lower, it doesn't matter. I do it based on who appreciates me and who supports me on the channel. And I'll still bust out a few more probably tomorrow as well. Jalen bouncing it to the outside, shimmy and a shake. First down, Eagles, as they tried to strip that football out. First and goal. But I always like doing reaction videos to all the games, no matter who's playing, because you never know, what special player does something that you don't really know or you're not familiar with, and then you can kind of get an idea what that player's about. Jalen throwing into the turf, incomplete. Second down and goal. Flag on the play. Megan with the 20. Appreciate you. I imagine you didn't have sleep for like days. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 25:75 to go. Appreciate you, Megan. Let me know what you want for photos. If you want Hawks photos, you want Kraken photos, whatever you want. You want your regulars, you let me know. I appreciate you. First and goal with 6:05 left. 3-0 Falcons. Shotgun set. Hurts. Screen pass. Nice tackle by the Falcons there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Great to see you in the room too, Amber. I know you've been working like crazy. And I know you were under the weather last time that we talked. Hopefully that things are getting better. And I always will appreciate an OG fan that still represents the NWSF, even from back in 2017. Appreciate you very much. Great seeing you. And And we appreciate Megan with her big $20 dono to get us to 25. Second and goal. Shotgun set for Hurts. Back in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. Devontae Smith. Nice tutty there for Philadelphia. 7-yard tutty for Devontae Smith. Way to bring that electricity, Jalen. DX in the building. What's good? Extra point is up by Jake Elliott, and it's good. So the Eagles pass on a chip field goal on their first drive, but so far it doesn't hurt them. But Jalen Hurts, the Devontae Smith, 7-3 Philadelphia. Nice job, Jalen. Fantasy owners rejoice if you got Jalen Hurts or if you got Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper. That's not only just Kevin Durant, it's Devontae Smith. 7-0 Philly. Okay, no worries. Let me know when you come back and I'll get some photos for you. Hell yeah, dude. Congrats, brother. Hopefully the Falcons can answer back to make this a very interesting back and forth game. So in our fantasy league, Reflect is about to beat me, which, I beat him twice in the regular season, but he ended up beating me in the championship. So if that is the case and I have to lose to him twice and I win, I'll take it. Matt is on the brink of beating Shep. He's up 113.3 to 97.86. Shep has got Saquon Barkley and Jahan Dotson, so he's going to need Barkley to score like 3 times to win. And Matt's got Bijan. So we'll see on how that rolls out, but Matt might be able to get his first win here in week number 2. Elliot and Sarah are neck and neck, 116 to 118. That one could go either way. And Elliot's got Jake Elliott, and Sarah is done. So as long as Jake Elliott, has a couple more kicks, he'll end up winning maybe by a couple points. Chief Will Chief got absolutely obliterated by Megan, 140.6 to possibly 61 to 83 points. And then we got Captain Oreo, ended up getting beat by Zini Panini, and she's got Devontae Smith, and she's at 151, and she's going to end up scoring 161, which will be the high total so far for the league in the first 2 weeks. It's going to be tough this year in fantasy. It's not going to be easy. Jerry got the 20th like. Appreciate you. Jerry. Appreciate you, bro. $5:15 left before halftime. Williams with the return. Flag on the play. Got to the 24-yard line. Let's see if this is on the Falcons or on the Eagles. Maybe this is on Philadelphia. Nope, blocking the back, bringing him back. First down and 10 on the Atlanta 14. I mean, it's already hard enough with Kirk Cousins not being 100%. It's like you might as well just throw Michael Penix Jr. in there. I feel that he would do just as good as what you're getting from Kirk, and he has more upside. But again, they're going to have to wait until they go 0-4 or 1-3 before they put Penix in the game. Appreciate you, Jerry. Let's get to 30 likes, baby. We're at 25, 75 to go, and we're at 20 likes, 10 more to get to 30. Man in motion. Little jet sweep. McLeod with nothing. Good coverage there by the Eagles. Second down and 8 to the Atlanta 16. Gained another sub. 64 to 20,600. And we're going to be gaining a lot of subs, through the live streams as well as the reaction videos. Play action fake. Little dump down in the screen. Kyle Pitts. And minimal gain there. Gain of about 2. Third down and 6 on the Atlanta 18. Getting 2 yards at a time against Philly ain't going to cut it. STL with a 5er. Appreciate you, man. Check out my reaction videos for the Saints as well. Those are always going to get the most views. They're going to get 2,000 to 5,000 views every week. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little stack to stack, bang, bang. And we'll be doing Yankees and Mariners on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we got the Pats and Jets on Thursday. Appreciate you, brother. We're at 30. 70 to go. Let me know what you want to do for a photo for your dono. McLeod, first down, Falcons. Move the chains down to the Atlanta 30. Nice throw by Cousins. Brent in the building. How are you? Miss ya. Love ya. How are you? That's a bold statement. I hope you're right. I mean, we've been hot as of late, and again, it's either we're going to make the playoffs or we're going to get very close and miss it by like a half game or a game. And hopefully we end up getting there. How are you? Hand off to Bajan. There we go. First down, Falcons. Now they're gaining a little bit of Uncle Mo and momentum. Yadi Molina. Let's go, baby. Second down and 1 on the Atlanta 39. Cousins, hands off. Bajan doing Bajan things. First down, Falcons, but there's a flag on the play, probably holding on that O-line. Raheem's looking at the players there and looking at a little bit of disgust. Let's see what happens. Raheem Morris, he used to be my head coach and my coordinator back in the day. Yeah. Well, it's tough. Red Sox and Yankees have that rivalry, but the Mariners and Yankees have that rivalry too, with Ken Griffey Jr. back in the 90s with the Yankees as well with Jeter. So we'll see. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Juan Soto. It's going to be tough, but we'll have to wait and find out. And no thumbs down. I did the video for the Hawks and Pats fans. Okay. I'm doing it for you guys. Three minutes to go, under 3 minutes, 2:40 and counting. Cousins, play action fake to Bajan. Pump fake. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. A Philly sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Flag on the play. Brandon Graham with the sack lunch. It's a Philly cheesesteak. Extra onions. See what happens here on this flag. Yeah, I know. Illegal contact on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down. I like it. I like Jerry's mentality. Refuse to lose. I love it. Go Mariners. Excited to do the Mariners-Yankees tomorrow, 6:30 Pacific, and on Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific. And then we'll do the Patriots for Brett and all the Pat fans going against the Jets. Should be fun. Even though on paper it may not look like, oh my God, this is must-see TV. But sometimes those matchups on paper that don't look that great end up being a little bit better than people think. First down and 10. 2:15 left before halftime. Cousins down the sideline. Darnell Mooney, what happened to my hands? You left them in Chicago. I don't really care who wins. I mean, obviously, I'm going against Reflect, and he's got Jalen, so I already know I lost this week. You can't win with a 3 from Laporta a 7 from Mike Evans, a 7 from Cooper Kupp and getting hurt, and then a 9 from AR. So I already fucked myself this week. So even if I would have started Baker and got an additional 8 points, maybe I would have been able to squeak out this win. But I'm not going to be able to start AR every week like I wanted all year until he got hurt. I'm probably going to start Baker Mayfield the rest of the season. And then if there's a good matchup, I might sneak in AR. But I just can't blindly just throw AR in there thinking he's going to get me 20 to 30 points. Because, again, 1 touchdown and 3 picks is not ideal for my fantasy team. So for this, I think Philly's going to win this game, so I don't need to really root for them. Everyone in the media thought the Falcons was going to be better than the Saints and Bucks. I'll let the Falcons, kind of fail on their own. I don't need to root against them for them to lose. They'll lose on their own. They don't need me to have bad juju against them. The Eagles are the better team. And for all those media experts and pundits that thought that the Falcons were going to end up winning the division, kind of hard to win the division when you start off 0-2 like the Panthers, right? And you got the Saints and Bucks looking very good at 2-0. I appreciate that very, very much, man. First dono for STL. Appreciate you. We'll get you some Yadier Molina here in a little bit. Yes, I got you. And shout out to my 2 favorite shows this year, cleaning up on all the awards, The Bear and Shogun. If you haven't watched those 2 shows, you're missing out. I highly recommend both. And if you did get a chance to watch Shogun and The Bear, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. I'm going to get some of these other photos loaded for Megan, but while I'm waiting for them to load, we'll get the Yadier Molina for STL's first dono to the channel. I appreciate you. And I got to hit you when he had the gold protective gear on as well. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, STL. Appreciate you, Megan. Let's go, baby. Swag, swag, swag. One of the best catchers with Pudge Rodriguez and a few others. Buster Posey and this Mike Piazza generation. Let's try to get some more here for Megan. Ladies, get your bibs. Get them ready. She said, bib me. Straight bibbage. Bibs on bibs on bibs. Handsome fella. Your boy's got to work fast. Commercials don't last very long. Shout out to STL for his first dono to the channel ever. That means a lot. And again, I work very, very hard, regardless of the results that we get. Sometimes, the views will be a little bit low on streams or on my videos that I do. But again, even if you end up getting low views on certain things, that doesn't mean you're not getting subs and you're getting new NWSF members. And some of them are going to be for life. And so again, I don't really get upset anymore, based on, this video got a bunch of views and this one didn't, or, oh, we had this many people in the room this day and today we don't have as many. Like, all I do is just try to give you guys my all every single day and just have the faith that it's going to work out in the end. And again, I've been working very, very hard on this channel, 12 years, 8 years full-time. 12 years, 8 years on YouTube, 3 years full-time. And with all that hard work that I put in, now this is going to be my full-time job for the rest of my life. And I would say that's a good trade-off. Bajan, rumbling and a bumbling. First down, Falcons. Hope you ladies and gents enjoyed those, and we'll have more photos as we get into halftime. First down and 10 on the Philly 17, handoff. Algier, he's shifty. Ken O'Brien. Yeah, I like the old school days back then. Boomer Esiason, Ken O'Brien, Eason. I can go back and name drop all the OGs, the Vinny Testaverdes. I mean, I started watching sports and wrestling when I was like 3, and I collected cards in magazines and sports memorabilia at a very young age, and I still have a lot of my collection back from when I was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Like, I definitely have more than any of my friends here in Oregon. I mean, I even got like my first pair of Nikes when I was a baby. Like, I guess some families, they have garage sales or, things get sold, and, we're not hoarders at all, but we're collectors. But again, some things may have gotten, put into the attic, and who knows where some of those things are, but it's always cool to be able to find like your childhood toy bag with all your stuff in it, like wrestling figures, G.I. Joes, Turtles, Transformers. It's a blast from the past, let me tell you. First and goal, 7-3 Eagles. 26 seconds left before halftime. And let's see if the Falcons can end up getting to the right player in the right situation here. Obviously going to Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan. You got plenty of weapons here. Who would be the person that they would think that would be least likely to get the ball? Maybe Kyle Pitts? Screen pass. Flag on the play. Looks like that was a face mask. Brandon Graham with the face mask, I believe. Damn right I did. Damn right. Yeah, I appreciate you very much. Yeah, a lot of Saints fans were upset for the proper reason, and let's be honest. Even though the Saints are having this amazing success, Dennis Allen isn't the right coach for that team. He's a coordinator, and you can always tell when guys are coordinators or head coaches, it's hard to be able to be a leader and then call plays or do one or the other. That's why when you see head coaches, some of them are just the head coach and they have separate OC and DC. You got guys with egos or they think they're really good, they'll do the head coach, and then they also are the DC or the OC, but you got to be a special individual to command that respect and have that intelligence. Trips left, first and goal, handoff, Bijan, and he runs into a fucking Philadelphia wall. No cheesesteak for you. Second and goal. Loss of 1. 17 seconds left. You got to get it into the end zone. If the Falcons have any chance of winning this game, they have to score a tutty here, not a field goal. You got to get it in the end zone. Second and goal. Let's see what they do here as an offense. Shotgun set. In the flat. He's open, but the pass is shitty. Incomplete. Terrible play call right there. If you're going to be running a play call here, instead of trying to do a fade route or a quick screen, you should do a back shoulder fade or just like a jump ball. Do one-on-one with Kyle Pitts. But if it was me personally, I'd be running like slant, and crossing routes right in front of the quarterback's face. So that way when they cross, they might be able to, interrupt that other defender, and you might end up having an easier target for a tutty. But obviously, Bijan is your number one answer, at least on that last down. I don't know if I would give it to Bijan here. 4 yards to get a tutty, but Bijan could do it. But that Eagle D-line and linebacking core is pretty stout. Third and goal. Yeah. Marino and Elway, and then you're just going back. I just love the OGs. I just remember watching like Monday Night Football and Dan Deerdorf and all the OG announcers, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Madden and Summerall. I miss those days. Things were a lot better back in the 80s and 90s to a lot of the things that are out now. 3rd and goal, man in motion. Cousins steps up, throws it in the back of the end zone, and that is incomplete. Terrible. Koo coming out. And Koo is automatic, so this will be 7-6 as we go into halftime, but the Eagles will have 10 seconds or so to see if they can make a big play, but I assume they'll just kneel it. Kick right down the middle, soccer style. Koo, my cousin, and it's good. 7-6 Philly. Should be 10-6 Philly, but it hasn't hurt them yet. But it'll be really ironic if Koo ends up kicking a game-winning field goal and they end up beating the Eagles by 1, 2, or 3 when the Eagles decided to pass on a field goal on their first drive, and they went for it on 4th down, and it was incomplete. You never give up points. High school, college, or NFL. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Let's go, baby. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We'll get some Yankee players up here for you as well. I always look forward to the Yankee matchup. I mean, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. You have to step up to that competition, right? You have to step up to that Yankee tradition and legacy and the Dodgers. And I'm always up for the challenge. Yes. And I was always a fan of Judge, but then when you go to a Mariner game and you get a Judge ball, like it changes you a little bit, as far as like memorabilia and whatnot. And so, I haven't gone out of my way to buy a bunch of Aaron Judge stuff, but I did end up getting an Aaron Judge, rookie auto graded, one of my more expensive cards in my collection now, since I ended up selling the Jordan rookie for the channel a few years back. So I'm definitely hanging on to that, and that'll be a nice investment piece. Not a lot of people can afford, $500, $600, $700 on like a Judge rookie, but if you do make that sacrifice and spend $500, $600, $700, on the correct card for like a Judge or an Ohtani, and you hang on to it for a long time, there's a good chance that it'll double, triple, or maybe quadruple in value depending on what card you have. So. But I only have one auto rookie of Judge, but it is graded at 9 and auto grade 10. So I'm definitely never selling that, and I'm hanging on to that one for a long, long time. All right, we got 6 seconds left here before halftime. Halftime, 7-6 Eagles. So for the people that donated, and if there's any other photos that you guys want to be able to have me throw up, to keep me busy here during halftime, just fire away. And then obviously if there's a few people in the room that even if you didn't donate, if there's something that's relevant in the chat that you want to be able to see a photo of, let me know. And we have a 7-6 Philadelphia lead at halftime. A lot lower scoring than anybody anticipated. So like the only way that I'm going to end up winning is if like Jalen Hurts ends up throwing 2 picks in the second half and doesn't really get a whole lot of yardage. But I deserve to lose this week. Got to step it up for next week. Steve Largent, yeah, I can do that. I am a dog daddy. I am the ultimate dog father. I love being a dog father. Like honestly, out of all the things in my life that I'm like proud of, with all the hard work that I put into this channel, but being a dog father to Paisley is the most rewarding thing in my life. And obviously this channel and you guys in the room and all of the supporters, is right up there with Paisley. And I'm just so blessed and thankful that I have such good quality humans that are a part of this channel and that allows me to be able to do this full time and then spend literally, 18 hours or more with Paisley. I mean, really the only 2 or 3 hours that I'm not spending with her is when I'm streaming. And then other than that, I'm, by her side 24/7. So yeah, let's get some hawk photos up there. I can even throw something up there for Britt or some of you others as well. Keep me busy here at halftime. The amount of Steve Largent and Seahawk photos I have is ridiculous. Just letting you know in advance. The amount of photos that I have in general is ridiculous. But again, when this is my full-time job, you're going to have many, many photos that you're going to need to be able to have. So Cousins, 7 for 13, 76 yards. Barf. Jalen, 9 for 13, 70 yards, a TD, and 52 rushing yards. Slightly better. Brian Bosworth and Largent, maybe. The Boz. Second half starts in less than 10 minutes. We'll have 10 minutes of photos, and then we'll be right back in it for the third quarter. Seven, 6 Philadelphia at halftime. Berman, love him. I miss Chris Berman and Tom Jackson being able to go over the NFL. That one-handed pick was ridiculous. Baker loves to bake. Let's go. LFB, let's fucking bake. We're putting the NFL on notice, baby. Saints, AK-41, 4 tutties. Watch out. NFC South is here. Seahawks. First place in the NFC West. It's lonely at the top. Raiders. Love me some Max Crosby. Jeff in the building. What's good? Amazon. Yeah, that's grind work, my guy. What's good, brother? How are you? 7-6, you're right in it. Obviously, at some point, Cousins has got to go to the bench and got to put in Michael Penix Jr. Because even if Michael Penix Jr. struggles a little bit, he's going to have a better arm and a better flow of this offense, and I think players are going to play better and harder for him. But again, you might have to wait until you go 0-4 or 1-3 if that's the case for him to get in, unless they decide to bench him behind Kirk. But Kirk is definitely not healthy, and hopefully you guys end up competing here late. But if you guys end up dropping this game, at some point, you're going to have to put Michael Penix Jr. in to see what he can do. And even if he fucks up, he's not going to fuck up any worse than Kirk already has. I think he gives you more upside to get your weapons going. Drake London is more of a factor with Michael Penix Jr. Kyle Pitts is more of a factor. I think Bajan is more of a factor. Algier is more of a factor. Everyone is more of a factor. But again, you're going to have to wait and see. But hopefully you're doing good mental health wise and whatnot. I've missed you. How's work been going? Being underappreciated and underappreciated and unloved for all the hard work that you do. But again, I appreciate you coming through and hanging out. Yeah, it's much improved with Judon and Simmons. And then the offensive line has always been good. You've always had 2 or 3 guys up front that were good. You got Bajan, you got London, you got Pitts. Now you just got to figure out who's the right quarterback. Add another piece on the line, get the right quarterback in there, add a few more defensive pieces, and then you're good to go. But, all of that talk, Shep, that the Falcons were going to take over the division, I think they ended up, speaking a little, too fast, too quick, and hopefully you guys will end up battling it out. But if you guys go 0-2, you're not winning the division against the Saints or the Bucks based on us, the way that we played, being 2-0. But I do think that the Falcons are at one point or another going to be able to catch up to the Saints and Bucks, but I don't know if it's going to be this year. I mean, at least you're better than the Panthers. At least you got that going, but Bryce Young just got benched, but that's not the problem. I mean, the problem is everything. The owner, the GM, the head coach, the OC, the DC, Bryce, the running backs, the wide receivers, the O-line, the D-line, the linebackers, the secondary, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. Like, everything is just a mess in Carolina. We're at 30, 70 to go. Yeah, you don't want to start off 0-3. But if you guys do that, I mean, that would be a good time to be able to, implement Michael Penix Jr. At that point. But obviously, nobody wants to start off the season 0-3. But you're in this game. I mean, even Philly decided not to go for a field goal on their first drive, so the score should be 10-6, not 7-6. So if you can keep, things going, you can get at least one touchdown in the second half and a couple field goals, you might be able to win this game by like 1, 2, or 3 late. But you're going to need Bajan to get in, or London or Pitts, right? And then you're going to have to probably kick a couple field goals, and you're probably going to have to get probably 20 to win this game, 20-23, but we'll see how it goes here in the second half. And then we'll be doing the Yankees and Mariners tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific, as well as Wednesday. And then we'll be doing the Patriots and the Jets on Thursday night. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're at 24. We need 6 more likes to get to 30. If you're in the room and you haven't smashed it yet, please do. Now we're at 25. Appreciate you if that was you, Shep. 5 more to go to hit the goal to hit 30. Gained another sub. Now we're at 63 to go. 63 to go to 20,600. Yeah, but you didn't even play Dobbins, so it didn't even matter. Like, you picked him up, but you benched him. So it's not like you used Dobbins, points to win. The rest of your players just ended up coming to play after kind of shitting the bed week 1. And I did the opposite. I killed it week 1. I got a 0 with McCaffrey because he was playing on Monday night. I had no one to substitute. I had a -2 with Chiefs D against Ravens, and I still scored the most points in the league, like 140 something, right? With only 7 spots out of 9. But then this week, half of my lineup shit the bed, and I only got to 110. So it shows you it can fluctuate, where you can end up having good weeks of 140 to 200, or you can have bad weeks where you're at 80 to like 110. And you just got to make sure you don't have too many of those 80 to 110 kind of weeks, or 100 to 110 weeks, because it's very difficult to be able to win when you only score 100 to 110, unless the person that you're playing did shitty also. And sometimes that ends up being the case. Grinding, brother. I mean, taking care of Paisley every day, making thumbnails for all of the reaction videos, upgrading the new look on the reaction videos. I don't know if you've seen any of them yet, but everything, the format is new. The reaction thumbnails are new. Just grinding on whatever the main event is each day. Football, baseball with the Mariners. Eventually we'll go into the Kraken. It's just going to be grinding every day. But again, my mental health is good. I don't hang around toxic people. I spend time with Paisley and you guys, and that's pretty much it. I mean, as long as I, have an energy drink to be able to do the stream, maybe an occasional gummy here or there to be able to help me sleep, and to be able to laugh and hang out with Paisley and watch some, throwback shows or cartoons or movies or whatever, I'm good. First down and 10. Cousins, play action fake. Throw is low. Nice catch. Bajan with the catch. Gain of 7. Second down and 3 on the Atlanta 37. And Atlanta, if they have any chance of winning this game, they need to get in the end zone at least once. Preferably twice, but at least once will give you a chance. Twice, you might end up winning. Yeah, I mean, dude, I got a 7 from fucking Evans, 7 from Cup, 3 from Laporta, and only 9 from AR. Brutal, bro. 4 out of my 9 shit the bed. You can't win that way. And the only way you can win when 4 guys shit the bed, the other 5 have to be up at like 20 to 30 points each, or you have to have someone that scored like 50 to compensate. And unfortunately, I did not have anything like that. So, and injuries have been brutal for me. Now Cooper Kupp is probably going to IR. CMC is on IR. Nick Chubb is on IR. Like, I already have a shitload of players injured, and it's only goddamn week 2. Brutal. But I still feel confident that I can make the playoffs and I can do damage. But it just sucks not being able to use my weapons that I want to use each week. Hand off. Lowers the boom. Gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 on the Philly 39. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I gave up. I gave up soda, and I do like juice and milk and whatnot. But the Monster energy drink, I don't really like Red Bull. Even when I would drink alcohol back in the day, I wasn't really a big Red Bull, kind of guy. I mean, I could do the vodka and Red Bull thing, but I'm more of a Monster energy drink. And I know it's really bad for you, but I like the taste, and it gives me that juice that I need to be able to grind it out, especially if I've been, exercising a lot and then I'm kind of sleepy. I always take a shower before doing a stream to wake up. And, but you're right. I shouldn't be, but, at least I don't smoke cigarettes, and, I'm not partying anymore. I'm not drinking anymore. So I'm really healthy. I mean, this is the healthiest and the best I think I've weighed and looked in probably since high school. So, I feel really, really good. You look good. You feel good. You perform good, baby. The gummies is really the only thing, that'll give me a little happiness, But that might be the only thing that I actually buy for myself. Everything else is for Paisley, and I just pay bills. Oh, absolutely. After he ended up getting that 100-yard touchdown, everyone got hurt. Debo got hurt. Jefferson got hurt. Cooper Kupp got hurt. A.J. Brown's not playing tonight. CMC got hurt. I mean, it's we're talking about not just wide receiver 2s and RB2s. We're talking about starters and some of the best athletes on planet Earth. Hard to win, when you end up having guys that are projected for 15 to 25 points and then poof, they're gone. And then if you don't have a respectable replacement, you're kind of fucked unless you can get somebody on the wire and they can overachieve. 2nd down and 5 on the Philly 10. But again, I beat, Reflect twice last year, but lost to him in the championship. So I guess I'm going to lose to him here in week 2. And if I have to lose again, so be it. But I got to win the championship this year. It's already been a couple years. I'm due. I'm fucking overdue. 2nd down and 5. Man in motion. Halfback toss. Algier. I like Algier. He's got some shiftiness to his game. Nice RB2. Change of pace back for Bijan. 3rd down and 4 on the Philly 8. Kittle got hurt, but he still put up 20 points. You know what I mean? The tight end position has been garbage overall in the first 2 weeks, and the quarterbacks this week have been absolutely butt munch, dog shit. I haven't seen so many quarterbacks at 10 in my life. I mean, there was a couple that ended up getting above 10, but a lot that were very bad this week for whatever reason. Bad matchups. 3rd down and 4. They need to get it in the end zone. Shotgun set. Cousins. 12 noon, you know what time it is. A Philadelphia Eagles sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Philly cheesesteak with extra onions, baby. Got to be better on that offensive line, and that's one of their strong suits is the Atlanta Falcon offensive line. But the Philadelphia D-line is one of their strengths, and strength for strength, Philly won. And now you're going to get Koo with another soccer-like field goal. Field goals are good, but you can't have too many. This is the same type of shit that happened to you against Pittsburgh. You got to get in the end zone. Field goal is up, and it's good. 9-7 Atlanta. But with that being said, you got the lead. So, I mean, there's that. So, yes. Of course, everyone remembers Coach O. He's got the most raspiest voice out of any coach in NCAA history. Every time he talked, it sounded like he smoked 2 packs of cigarettes every day. They should have never got rid of him. When he became the interim coach, they should have kept him. Because obviously we know Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, and he's not a good coach. All right, 9-7 Atlanta. 10-12 left in the 3rd quarter. And it just sucks. I hate losing when I know I have a chance to win. And if I would have went with Baker, they would have given me, how many more points? 8 more points. And I still might have lost, but I would have been at 118. Reflect is at 113, and he only has Jalen. So you can't win in fantasy when you have 4. You might be able to win with 3 bad spots out of 9, but not 4. 4 was the backbreaker. And if Cooper Kupp didn't get hurt, I think I would have won. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. And, sometimes you got to get that L out of the way early. And again, I don't know if we're going to have any teams that are undefeated this year. I feel like the best teams in our league are still going to end up having 1 or 2 losses. So it's more competitive this year than it was last year. Zini Panini's got a really good team, right? Megan has gotten better, right? And obviously, Shep, you're in the running, and again, Captain Oreo is a new addition to the league this year, and he seems like he's got a pretty good team as well. So me and Reflect are going for the title. So instead of it just being like 1 or 2 teams, I feel there's like 5 or 6, and there's only 4 playoff spots. And then the other 4 teams that don't get in aren't terrible. It's just that they don't have a roster as good as the other 6 teams. If you got to draft well and you got to hit the wire early and often. And if you don't, and you're lazy on the wire and you had a bad draft, you're never going to catch up to the top 6. So. No, because again, Josh Allen is maybe the second best quarterback in the league right now, or maybe one of the top. He had a bad game, but it was one of those games where he had bad point total, but again, they didn't really need him to throw or run because Tua got hurt, so it was kind of game script. So in that one, it's not like he threw for 5 interceptions and played bad. Geno is going to play good here and there, but you're going to have to look at the matchups. But if you have Josh Allen, that's a guy that you're probably going to start 9 times out of 10. And the only time you're going to start someone else, if it's a bad matchup, then you throw Geno in. If it's a green matchup, or if it's Josh Allen's bye, but you're not going to be just starting Geno over Allen, because if the moment you do that, Geno might get 15 to 20, but then that's the week that Allen gets 50 or like 40, or you throw Geno in and Geno gets a 9, and then Josh Allen gets a 39 and you lose. So you have to be very, very careful not to get too overly emotional, off a bad performance. And a lot of us in fantasy do that. Someone has a bad performance, and then we're like, get the fuck out of here. We put them to the bench, or we kick them off the team. But then a lot of times, if you are over emotional, then someone else picks up that player, uses them against you, and then you lose. So you never want to, Josh Allen is someone you're never going to drop. You're always going to have him on the roster, because if you drop him, you have 0% chance of getting to the playoffs, period. You have to have Josh Allen on your team to give yourself a chance to make the playoffs with the rest of your roster. As good as Geno is, Geno is normally going to be, 15 to 17 points. Once in a while, he'll get 20 to 25. And then there'll be other games where he gets 7 to 9, so that's just the reality. Some games he'll hand the ball off more, and some games he'll get picked, But if we're looking at the tiers of quarterbacks, Geno might play like a top 10, top 12 quarterback this year, but Josh Allen might end up being the best quarterback in the NFL this year, or one of the best, because he can run and he can throw. Geno's not getting any rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen can get 1, 2, or 3 in the air, 1, 2, or 3 on the ground, and he's one of the only few that can do that besides Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson. That's why fantasy is so important. You have to realize it's not only what they do in the air. If you get a guy that can run touchdowns, and also it's a dual threat, then instead of getting 20 points, you might get 40, and that's why people draft those players. 9:36 left, 9:18 left and counting, 9-7 Falcons. Well, I'll be dropping Dak, obviously here in a day or two. So if you want 10 or 12 points out of Dak Prescott, you can have him, Shep. They will be playing the Giants in a couple weeks, but it's on the road. It's kind of a trap game. So you would assume Dak will be better than he was against the Browns and the Saints. But, I got Baker Mayfield and AR. I'm good. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But, with injuries, you got to, sometimes let guys go and find room for the pieces that you need at that time. That's fantasy. But you never want to drop a superstar player. Like Sarah last year had Kyron Williams. He got hurt, and instead of just putting him on the bench, on IR or on the bench, you just dropped him, and that was a big mistake. And then Reflect picked him up and used him to win the championship. So when you can have a guy that's a top 5 talent that scores like 20 to 30 points a game, you never fucking get rid of a guy like that. You just put him on your bench. Even if they're going to miss 4 games on IR, you never, ever get rid of a guy like that. And Sarah made that mistake. She didn't make the playoffs, and then Reflect ended up scooping up that piece, and that was the piece that was the X factor to have him win it over me in the championship. So I knew I was trying to get Kyron as well. I couldn't believe that she dropped him, but you never, ever drop someone that's got talent like that. Never. First down and 10. And if you do, you will pay. Shotgun set. Jalen. Little over the top. Saquon. Spin move. Nice move by Saquon there. Very elusive. Hit him with the spin cycle. Ooh, I got default camera. Interesting. I might be able to kind of reconfigure my look now. I just looked up on my platform here, and it's showing me that I have brand new camera angles that I can use. So I got the one that I'm on now. I got a smaller box that will just be like my face. I got a smaller box that will be a circle around my face, a circle around my face, a square around my face, what you see right now, and then rounded corners. I like that. I never knew that was available. What's this look like? Let me click on this real quick. All right, that one isn't implemented around the corners of my camera. Oh, okay. I don't think I'll use these other cameras, but nice to know that I have other options for other streams. Second down and 6. Hurts. He's open. Devontae Smith. First down. Eagles. Move the chains. I'm good, Terrence. How are you, brother? Yeah, Tua is unreliable. One more concussion this season, and this might be his last season. If he gets a concussion next year, that might be his last season. So, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek's fantasy, upside is gone. If Tua's not there, those guys, aren't reliable, and that stinks if you have Waddle or Tyreek. Yeah, I'm always going to mix it up a little bit, with the throwback look. And I got that for the hockey streams, the basketball, the baseball, and the football. And again, I was experimenting with newer cards, within the last 20 years, but nothing looks good compared to the old school look. And I'm an old school guy. So I felt like it matched my personality very well. And nobody else has a look like this either. So screen pass. Third down and 3 by Covey. All right, take care. Miss ya. Love ya. He said it's bedtime on the East Coast. There in the Northeast, it's 10:03. Night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. 9-7 Falcons. Third down and 3. Shotgun set. We got trips right. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Hurts. Touchdown. Oh, good defense. And I figured they were going to go back to Devontae Smith, but the Falcons knew it too. Good defense to poke that away. And that's where I would have gone as well. But again, when you go to a target that is the most it's the most reliable because you don't got A.J. Brown, but it's the most likely, then sometimes things like that happen. Or maybe you should have went to Dallas Goedert and it would have been a touchdown. Or one of these other young guys that you're giving the ball to that normally doesn't play because A.J. Brown is in there. Good defense by the Falcons. They're still in it. And they're going to go for a 24-yard attempt with Jake Elliott. Oh, fake. It's a fake. Uh-oh. Calcaterra under center. I think they're just going to go for a fake. They're not going to hike it. Okay, wow. Imagine if the Falcons would have jumped right there. Then it would have, been 14-9. Good discipline. Good discipline by the Falcons to not jump right there. Delay game, moves them back. Easier for Jake Elliott. And then it'll be 10-9 Eagles, which should be 13-9, but they gave up the field goal in the first drive like a bunch of idiots. But we'll see if that ends up biting them in the ass or not. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to get the old bloodline versus the new bloodline. It's just a matter of time. Matter of time, dude. It's going to happen. Kick is up, and it's good. 10-9 Eagles. Jimmy, Jay, Roman, Rock, all of the, all Sami Zayn, all the OGs and the original bloodline versus the new bloodline. That's how wrestling works. It's like you end up getting a partner or a team or a stable, and then eventually everything is good, like the NWO or DX, and then sometimes you end up having a feud and you break up, and then you end up having that rivalry, and then sometimes you come back together. It's a kind of a natural circle of the way wrestling works. Facts. 4:28 left in the third quarter, 10-9 Eagles. All right, brother. I'll handle the mod duties while you're gone, and if we have another individual that's a regular that handles it for me, whether it's Sarah or Elliot, they'll help out, and if they don't show up, I'll just handle the mod duties on my own for the rest of the stream. And speaking of, here's Sarah. I don't know if you're just stopping by or not. They won 9-0. Are you here for the rest of the night? Because Matt has to go. And it would be awesome if you could fill in. I mean, I can still do the verbal part. I just don't like saying like, sub, donate, comment, share 50 times in the stream. It's like unnecessary. But also I have to make sure I'm verbally saying it. So if we get any newbies, that haven't smashed the like button yet, that they can do that. And then that can help us get to another number. So, okay. I didn't know if you were still in the room either, DX. Obviously, DX is another individual that can help us out. It's usually Sarah, DX, or Elliot as the backups to obviously Matt. So. All right, Matt, have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow, I'll be live at 6:30 Pacific for the Yankees and the Mariners, and I'll be doing Yankees and Mariners on Wednesday, Aaron Judge versus Julio. And then on Thursday, we'll do the Pats for Britt going against Aaron and the Jets. Yeah, no worries, Megan. For you, you're the emergency. You're the one that's like, if we have like 4 or 5 people that are not available and then you're free, then, but don't worry about it. You're like the emergency contact, so I can usually do things on my own, especially if it's more than halfway through the stream. So we're at 26, more to go. And I'm rocking the Levante David rookie jersey, where they only wore this jersey with this orange striped hideousness for 1 year, but I had to buy it because it was the jersey change with the new font until they went back to the new one. But I'm really happy that I ended up buying this because the Devin White experience hasn't been kind. I bought 2 sewn jerseys that cost like $150 to $175 a piece, and the guy only lasted on the team 4 or 5 years, and now he's on the Eagles, and he's like on the bench. He's injured. He might be a special teams guy. And it always stinks when you invest in a jersey thinking the guy is going to be there for 10 to 15 years, and then you realize that the guy was only there for his rookie deal and then ended up quitting on the team and now is on another team. But it's not like I'm going to get rid of my Devin White jerseys. I'm still going to wear them. I'm not going to give them the goodwill. I'm not going to burn them. I'm not going to talk shit about Devin White, because if I didn't have Devin White from LSU, the Bucs would have never won the Super Bowl without him. But it just kind of stinks when I invest that much money thinking a guy is going to be here at least for his second contract. At least give me the honor of wearing your jersey for 8 years before you leave, not 4 or 5. But that's the NFL, and the NFL is a business. 4:28 left in the third quarter, 10-9 Eagles. But I still have like Doug Williams, Doug Martin, Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, my favorite. So, I got plenty of others that I can rock here and there too. So, yeah, I know. I'm going to have to end up paying $300 or $400 one day. Obviously, you're in Australia, so the money is different. But obviously, I'll have to get a Kraken jersey at some point, Kraken hat, Kraken snow hat. And then at some point, I'm going to have to go get like a Mitchell and Ness throwback. I still want to get a Mike Allstott, Rondé Barber. And if I was going to get a jersey for the Bucs this year, I can't afford it. But if I were, it would be offensive lineman Tristan Wirfs, or my number one choice would be Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety. So we're at 30 in donos. He had 17K. Congrats to Valhalla. Awesome. He works hard like me, and I wish him the best success. And maybe even one day we'll do a collab. He's like really the only YouTuber that has similar sub count to me that I feel that, it would work. Like I said, it would be like a mutual thing that I think it would benefit both of us, instead of me benefiting someone that has like 10 subs. Like, I'm always willing to help and whatnot, but one day maybe we'll end up doing a Dodger or Mariner, collab or whatever, but he likes doing things his way. I like doing things my way. And when you end up having personalities that are like that, and we work so hard to build our channels up, sometimes it's hard to be able to do a collab, especially if you don't really know each other. But, never say never, though. But I think that, both of us would be willing to collab with each other. I think it would be a cool experience, especially if the Mariners and Dodgers played each other like in the, World Series one day or something, unless we ended up doing a collab during a, just a regular season game between the Dodgers and the Mariners. But again, he's kind of set in his ways. I'm set in mine. So, but I wish him the most success. Hard to be able to get over 10K subs, no matter what you're doing. 3:14 left in the third quarter. Paisley Pup is making an appearance. Love you, Paisley. Second down and 10. Screen pass. Good defense there by the Eagles. Pressure off the edge. Kyle Pitts. Big tackle. Tight ends have not been used the way that we thought in 2024, unless you're the Raiders and Brock Bowers. Got the most catches in the first 2 weeks of any tight end of all time. Cousins, there we go. First down. Woo, what a tackle by the Eagles. That was WWE-like. My God. Oh, we got 4 more likes to get to 30. Let's get there. We're at 26. 4 more. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And I did Raiders and Ravens, Seahawks and Patriots, Bengals and Chiefs, Lions and Bucks, Saints and Cowboy reaction videos this week. And then last week I did Commanders, Bucks, Texans, Colts, Panthers, Saints, Packers, Eagles, and Ravens, Chiefs. So if you're looking to be able to watch some more content that's new, I have those as well. Shotgun set. Cousins. Wow, what a catch. Oh my, broke the tackle. Touchdown, Falcons. Darnell Mooney. Wow. Unbelievable. And that's funny because Shep actually picked up Darnell Mooney because he had to based off an injury, put him in the lineup, and he actually scored in this game. Nice job. Let's go, Shep. I saw that move that you did, and I know you had a lot of injuries, so you just picked him up and said, fuck it. Or I don't know if it was you. Maybe it was another person that picked up Mooney. No, it wasn't Shep. It was someone else. Who was it? Oh, it was Chief picked him up, and he actually got points, but he's so far behind the 8 ball. He's at 74, and Megan's at 140. I thought it was either you or Chief, but it was Chief. There you go, Shep. Told you, you just need touchdowns. Cousins, 2-point conversion. Incomplete. Too bad Cousins doesn't have any mobility. He could have ran it in. 15-10, Atlanta. Yeah, Mooney's no longer on the Bears. There you go, Shep. And I'm just really curious if that field goal that the Eagles passed on early on will come back to bite them. Falcons up by 5 with Mooney somersaulting into the end zone. Good game. Back and forth, back and forth. But it looks like in fantasy, we're going to have Reflect, Matt, Elliott, Megan, and Zini with wins in week number 2. Very competitive. Yeah, I mean, again, especially a guy that's got a strong arm and he's got a nice release and he's a lefty. It's always hard to game plan to go from a righty to a lefty. And again, I don't know how long they're going to have to wait until, unless, Cousins has an injury, then you're going to get Penix. But unless he has an injury or you guys start off like, 1-3 or 0-4, that might be the only way that we see Penix this year. We might have to wait till next year, but I would love to be able to see him. Because if you're looking at all the rookie quarterbacks so far this season, Jaden Daniels has been the best one, but he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. It's all been kind of like through his legs, right? J.J. McCarthy is hurt. Drake May is on the bench, as well as Michael Penix Jr. Bo Nix hasn't really played that well. The rookie quarterbacks have not been good in this draft class so far. Man, I hate losing in fantasy, especially when both teams shit the bed and I barely lose. I'm such a competitive person, but again, I earned this loss. And I'll be 1-1. Reflect will be 2-0. Captain Oreo will be 1-1. Shep will be 1-1. Elliott. So it looks like it'll be Elliott and Reflect will be the only undefeated teams, and everyone else will be 1-1 or 0-2. Rough. Very competitive this year. Like I said, in years past, it was only like maybe 2 or 3 really powerhouse teams. This year, we have 6. And then the other 4 aren't that far behind. So anything can happen this year. There's only 4 spots in the playoffs. Yeah. Nice. Congrats on the new job. And DX, congrats on the new apartment. Yeah, a lot of us, again, and a lot of the people that are 0-2 or 1-1, obviously injuries are a motherfucker. I'm down CMC, Chubb, and Cooper Kupp. That's fucking brutal. It's week 2. God, can you at least let these injuries happen by week 4 so that way I can build my bench a little bit better? But it is what it is. But at least a lot of those guys are not season ending. But again, you just need to stay afloat until the guys come back. So. Well, I told you had a good draft, Megan. It's just a matter of those guys hitting, and again, they didn't hit week 1, but they did week 2. And it also depends on your opponent, and obviously you had the blessing of playing the 10 out of 10 team in Chief Will Chief. So really, but also on top of that, you would have been able to beat almost anybody this week with your numbers, So it's not just you playing the worst team in the league this week. You would have beaten almost anybody this week based off your numbers. You're on point right now to be scoring the most points out of anyone in the league, except you only would have lost to Zini. Yeah, so Zini is the only individual you would have lost to. She's at a 156, but you're at a 140. Keep it up. Yeah, you're lucky. You had no injuries. You're like the only team in the league that hasn't had any significant injuries yet for your starters and your big name players. It's all good. Both of you guys can do it. The more, the merrier. 4 more likes. 70 more on the dono train. 47 seconds left here in the third quarter. It's a good one. Lower scoring matchup, but it could heat up here a little bit in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you guys can both do it. It doesn't matter. It's not like you guys are spamming the chat. It's, all for a positive thing in the room. So it's not going to matter if you guys both comment about the same thing below each other. If anything, it just shows that you guys care and are helping. All right, we're going into the fourth quarter. Falcons up by 5. And that is the end of the third quarter. Yeah, same thing with me, man. I went from getting 140 plus to 110. Brutal. No one expects to drop down 30 points in fantasy, but that's the reality when certain guys get hurt or they shit the bed. So. Yeah, and you have to look at the matchups too. So, I mean, again, I'm not going to say I'm the best fantasy player in the world, but I do honestly feel I am one of the best that's out there because I put in the most work. I'm on the app the most, 3-4 hours a day. I'm on everyone's fucking roster, clicking on everyone's name, looking at all the injuries and on the wire. And there's a reason why I haven't finished lower than third in any league I've ever been in. But, when I'm looking at your team, so we can look here, let me go. So you look at your team, and then we can look at week 3. So week 3, you play Jacksonville, right? And you have green matchups from top to bottom except Seahawks D. So Geno is projected for 16 against Miami. Allen is projected for 21.4 against Jacksonville. So it wouldn't make sense putting Geno in over Josh Allen. But at one point, if it's a red matchup and a green matchup for Geno, you may consider it. But again, Josh Allen, even on a bad game, most of the time will outscore Geno on a good game. That's just the reality because Josh can score with his legs and with his arm. He's the best at it. Jalen Hurts is 2, and then AR is 3, based off running ability and getting into the end zone. But you got ETN projected for 15, Henry with a 13, Neighbors with a 14, Amon-Ra with an 18, Andrews with a 10, Jackson Smith-Njigba with a 13, Seahawks D, and then Butker. So the only thing that you possibly could do is maybe get another defense that's better than Seattle's, because you got a red matchup against Miami, but they don't have Tua. So Seahawks could definitely beat Miami. But other than that, looking at your team, there's nobody I would put in the starting lineup over what you have now, except for maybe getting a better defense in Seattle. But if you just want to roll with Seattle's defense, they've been good this year. You guys are 2-0. You could always just roll the dice. And again, if it's not Tua, Seattle defense might get you 10, 11 points. So I think I would just probably leave it alone. I think everything on your lineup looks good, So whoever's playing Megan in week 3, hopefully you have a team that can match up because that team looks pretty good right now. But again, you never know if they're going to, hit or not. It's like gambling. You don't really know. All you can do is just put yourself in the best position to win and then hope that the cards are dealt in your favor. 3rd down and 4. Jalen got all day and all night back there. Pressure coming. Judon chasing him down. Covey with that catch. 1st down, Eagles. The Watkins Glen. Nice. I didn't get a chance to watch the replay yet. Diddy is? Good. He should be in prison. Terrible human being. You get all these people with all of the, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, sex trafficking and all kinds of crazy shit that these celebrities do that people don't realize just because you're a rapper or an actor or an actress or a singer. Like, not everyone is as innocent as they seem, Even some of our favorite actors and actresses that are very well loved and respected are creeps behind the scenes. Facts. I mean, Epstein Island and everything else, you wouldn't think certain people would be like that, but you will be surprised. Hollywood is a very sick place, especially if you're rich and you're a millionaire. It's one thing to drink and to do drugs, but for some of these millionaires, it's not enough. They have to go above and beyond and do crazy shit. Facts. 3rd down and 6. 15-10 Falcons. 13-30 and counting in the 4th quarter. Third down and 6 on the Philly 49. I mean, it was just a matter of time for R. Kelly, and Diddy will be next. But the sad thing is Diddy is not the only one that's guilty. There's a lot of people that are guilty, and I doubt that he'll be the only one that goes down. I don't know. I think, a lot of the stuff is, when you're starting to see like the child trafficking and the other stuff like that, the children that are underage, that's a problem in America that people don't really want to speak on. It's one thing when you're getting the, sex trafficking and shit like that, but, kids are being kidnapped and it's not a good look. 4th down and 1. Tush push incoming. Or are they going to try to draw him off sides? First down, Eagles. Move the chains. Oh, boy said butt stuff. Let him know, Kelsey. And I ended up doing 3 reaction videos. Sarah, if you could like and share the videos with Matt, that would be great. I did Bengals, Chiefs, Seahawks, Patriots, and Raiders, Ravens. And even though the views are low on those, I can still get subs off of them. And then I'll figure out what matchups are left. And then I may end up doing a couple tomorrow. But it kind of depends, on what kind of traction the ones that I get. Because I don't want to be doing, 3 reaction videos yesterday, 3 today, 3 tomorrow, and all of them are getting like minimal views. I'm not sure if that's really worth my time. But again, I know there's going to be some fans that appreciate my hard work. And as long as we're getting subs and going in the right direction, then some videos are going to hit higher than others. Like the Saints reaction videos are going to be crazy, but a lot of the other ones are going to be very minimal. Judah in the building, what's good? I appreciate that. Yeah, any kind of like and share on Twitter/X. A like on the actual video will help. Comments on the videos will help as well. 3rd down and 2. Plus, if you just like looking at highlights of your favorite team, why not, Jalen up the middle. First down, Eagles. Move the chains. Big run there on 3rd down and 2. First down, Philly. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you. Handoff up the middle. Saquon Barkley. And obviously you feel the momentum shifting that Philly, it feels like, Atlanta's defense is bend but don't break, but it feels from the 20 to the 20. But on this particular drive, it feels like Philly is going to get a touchdown. I would be shocked if they only get a field goal here. Atlanta needs a desperate turnover, a fumble or a pick, and I don't think it's going to happen. Jalen with the fake. First down, Eagles. Don't tear your ACL with that kind of movement, Jalen. Yeah, there's some good highlight packages in that matchup, for sure. Charbonnet, I had him in fantasy, picked him up, put him at the flex, played great. And I had a feeling that he would be one of the big X factors in the game in overtime or in the regular, quarters 1 through 4, and he was. DK had that amazing touchdown. And again, JSN taking over as the number 2 receiver over Long. And again, nice to be able to see Seattle doing the Seattle thing and being 2-0. First down and 10. Hand off to Saquon. Now we got a flag on the play. That might be holding. The only thing that's going to prevent the Eagles from getting in the end zone, offensive holding, or if it's some type of illegal shift. Holding on number 89. Johnny Wilson, what are you thinking, Johnny? But it's kind of like, McDonald, goes to the Seahawks, right? And they have a new OC, and then you end up going 2-0, and then his former team is 0-2. Is that a coincidence? And we know Lamar has got Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers, and whatnot. But again, when you lose someone as important as McDonald, it shows the importance. Jalen bouncing it to the outside. And normally the Ravens will never be 0-2 to start off the season, but here we are. Yeah, there was a couple suspect calls, Judah, in the matchup. I ended up watching the game and I did the reaction video. And there's always going to be kind of 50-50 plays that are either called penalty or not. And that is very true. But I was very proud on how the Pats played. They don't look like a team that's going to win 1-4 games. They look like a team that might win 5-9 games this year if they overachieve. Like, they look pretty good on top of losing Judon to the Falcons. And, Brissett and, Ramondre Stevenson, just looking at the roster, they lost a lot of pieces and they don't have Bill there anymore. The vibe is different. But again, they look like a team that isn't like the Panthers. They look like a team that's going to be competitive, and I'll be rooting for you guys to beat the Jets on Thursday night. Yeah, Pacheco is out. Cooper Kupp is out. CMC is out. A.J. Brown is out. I mean, we got a lot of Deebo Samuel is out. Like, a lot of big-name fantasy studs are out already within the first 2 weeks. Some out for 2 weeks, some out for a month or longer. Shitty. 3rd and 3. Play action fake. Bootleg. He's open. Touchdown, Eagles. Your boy's ESP is correct. Bang! And that's what they needed. Just a matter of time with players that good. Might have been short. Might be short. Maybe that might be down to the half-inch line. I think he might have not got in. I think the knee is down and it's before it hits the stripe. Let's look again. That's close. See where the knee is, where the football is. Yeah, he should have had the football in his left hand, not his right hand. He's short. He's short. 1st and goal on the 1. I mean, they can just give the ball right back to him and he'll score literally on the next play. But on that last play, he is down. No touchdown. But again, they can just feed him once or twice and he'll get in. I actually was surprised on how good you guys played. And you guys could have stole that game and won. Let's be honest. It's not like the Seahawks blew you guys out. It took until overtime to get the field goal by Myers. And you easily could have won that. Very, very close matchup. 1st and goal. Push. And it looks like Saquon loses fantasy points and Jalen gets his. Touchdown, Eagles. And that buries the hatchet into my fantasy with Jalen Hurts scoring for Reflect. But again, I didn't deserve to win this week. And even if I would have had Baker, I still would have lost by 1. Fucking AR with 9. That fucked me, Sarah. AR played like shit. Like, I get it. The Packer defense is pretty good, but with Malik Willis and whatnot, and the receivers dropped a lot of passes on top of that. But AR looked terrible against the Packers. You can't go 1 touchdown and nothing on the ground and 3 picks and give me goddamn 9 points. That's not ideal. Now I have to probably play Baker the rest of the year, and I'm only going to sprinkle in AR here and there instead of using AR as a weapon every week like I wanted to. And I know he's only been playing like 4 or 5 games in his NFL career, but, there's a big difference. It's like either 20 to 40 points or like 10. There's no like in between of like 15 and 17. And if he would have played better, the Colts would have won. But again, it was a combination effort. Him not playing well, offensive line shaky, receivers dropping balls, and the defense not playing good enough. So, yeah, defense was some shit. They had Malik Willis. It wasn't fucking Jordan Love. Like, I was, 2-point try is good. 18-15 Eagles. Now, if the Eagles kick the field goal early on, right, it would be 21-15, and then the game might be over. But now the Falcons will have a chance to be able to tie it up or take the lead. But I hope things get better, for your defense, as well as AR. I'm not going to drop him. I'm going to keep him on my team with Baker Mayfield, but the way that Baker has been playing, I don't really, Baker obviously scored a touchdown with his legs, and he's starting to be a little bit more active that way, but I would rather play AR, as the starting quarterback, but I can't afford him to drop a 9 and have me lose again, so So that means that, there might be weeks where AR gets 20 to 30 points on my bench, but if I'm going to be getting 17 to 22 consistently out of Baker, then so be it. As long as Baker doesn't get me a fucking 9 and then I lose, then that'll just put me in fucking fantasy hell. All of a sudden I put Baker in, he gets a 9, and then AR gets 39 and I lose. Then I just fucking scream at the world. But I usually am pretty good, based on matchups. And I know AR is going against the Bears, and we saw CJ Stroud. He didn't really do very good against the Bears, so I'm not playing AR against the Bears. I doubt that he'll do that much against Chicago's defense. So I'm going to go Baker Mayfield, and I think they're going against the Broncos, so I should be able to get 20 to 30 points out of Baker, hopefully. And he can double up with Mike Evans and whatnot. Baker and Carr are the sleeper MVPs of the year so far, and it's nice to be able to have guys that are always shit on, that are at like the middle of the pack quarterback, and then they both look like they could be MVP candidates this year. It's awesome. And plus, Baker's journey, swagger, overconfident, kind of immature at Oklahoma, coming into the, Cleveland Browns, dysfunctional organization, got them a win, got them to the playoffs, but it didn't work out. Then went to the Panthers, then went to the Rams, got a touchdown against the Raiders in the fourth quarter. That single touchdown to help the Rams win for Sean McVay gave him an opportunity for a 1-year deal with the Bucs. He ran with it, and now he's going to be our quarterback probably for the next 5 to 10 years, and he's our guy. Even though I was thinking, maybe we can get Michael Penix Jr. or Caleb Williams, but now as everything is shaked out with these new quarterbacks, a lot of these quarterbacks are struggling, and I'm happy that Baker finally matured, and the big difference is he had a daughter. And sometimes when you end up getting a pet or you end up having a son or a daughter, it changes you, like it changed me, and it fucking changed Baker, and he's so fucking mature now, and I love it. And, sometimes you have to have a life-changing moment happen for you to change as an athlete, and it certainly has. We're at 30, 70 to go. What about the Vikings and the Chargers? Those guys might be suspect as well. Those might be Fugazi 2-0s, right? All right, here we go. Let's see if the Falcons and Shep can come back. But winners this week in fantasy in the league reflect over me. Matt is going to get a win on Shep to go 1-1. And it looks like you are right there, Sarah, but you have nobody playing. And he's got Jake Elliott, and he's only beating you by 1, but it looks like, that's going to be enough. And 119 to 118. Wow, crazy. Megan won big against Chief 140 to 74. And Zini scored the most points this week with 159.82. And she still has Devontae Smith. So Captain Oreo had a good week of 127, but Zini scored the most points out of anybody in the league. I had the most in week 1, but she obliterated my total this week. And it's nice to be able to see, the females in the league having some success. And I know things have been tough with injuries for you, but hopefully things will get better and you can get into the win column as well, Sarah. I mean, shit, look at me. I got CMC down, right? I won't have him for 4 to 6 weeks. Cooper Kupp will be on IR. I only have a couple receivers. I had Mike Evans, right? Cooper Kupp and Ladd McConkey, and that's it. So I'm fucked. I got to be able to figure it out, Sam Laporta has been dog shit, Cousins going deep. Got a man, incomplete. I mean, I wasn't anticipating some of these guys playing so shitty, but, quarterbacks have been shitty this week. Tight ends have gotten no love except Brock Bowers for the most part, even though Kittle hit a good number this week. Like, it's just crazy. It's so unpredictable, fantasy. Damn right he did. He didn't get any targets in week 1, but Kyler was balling out in week 2. Yeah, and what looked like the steal in the second round for Tyreek now looks like almost a wasted pick unless they get a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill or someone else, because obviously the guy that they have now, Skylar Thompson, is ass. I mean, there's zero value for Tyreek and Waddle. I don't even know if you can play them. Because, I mean, even if Skylar Thompson plays the whole game and Tyreek is out there for every snap, what is he going to get? 10? What is Waddle going to get? 10? Like, you need those guys to get 20 or 30, not fucking 10. So, that's rough. I don't know why Mooney stopped running. That was stupid. Yeah, but Debo is injured now for a couple weeks, so Ayuk's numbers are going to go up. So again, he's been bad. And again, Debo is out. Ayuk up. So his stock will go up and he'll have some big games. Trust me. Ayuk will end up having a few games, I would assume, while Debo is gone for 2 to 4 weeks. I would assume 15 to 30 points. Once here, once there. It may not be every week. Maybe 1 week 18, the next week 9. Maybe 1 week 32, the next week maybe 7. I don't really know how it's going to go with the flow of the game with Jordan Mason and Kittle, or if anyone else is going to get looks. Because Brock Purdy really hasn't played very well in the first 2 weeks. But you would assume Debo's numbers have been pretty good, right? So if he's out, who's next man up? That's make a puke Ayuk. So again, sometimes you have to wait for injuries to happen for the guy that's ahead of you for someone to succeed. And just my luck, Baker would always go to Mike Evans, and then this year the hot target is Chris Godwin. Elliott has him. So you never know, and hopefully Mike Evans, he got 2 touchdowns week 1, but didn't do shit week 2. So I was hoping that Mike would get in the end zone against the Lions, and I'm happy that we won and we're 2-0, but I need Mike Evans to be the G. If I'm going to, have him as my wide receiver 1 and I got no wide receiver 2. Thanks a lot, Cooper Kupp. Thanks a lot, Christian McCaffrey. Thanks a lot, Nick Chubb, even though Nick Chubb was already injured before the season started. Yeah, I have no idea why he stopped running. That was stupid. But I think a lot of people will be dropping positions for others to pick up also. Like if there's people need a quarterback, I'll be dropping Dak. I'm going to keep Baker and AR. I just can't afford to have 3 running backs with all my problems at wide receiver, tight end, and I got to figure out defense. And, so there's going to be some good quality pieces. Charbonnet obviously was a good filler for 1 week, but I assume Kenneth Walker III will be back, so he doesn't really have any value anymore unless Walker is hurt. But sometimes you got to make moves, And I think Dak will have some good numbers this year, later in the year. But again, I don't think he'll be better than AR or Baker. So I got to keep the 2 best. Now, if AR gets hurt, then I'll have Baker and another individual. But it's like Dak's only put up 12 points like 2 weeks in a row. That's not good enough. 3rd down and 9. I don't know if he got there. Are they going to give him the first down? 4th and 1, I believe, at the Atlanta 39. Oh, Walker's not back for another 2 weeks? Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'm keeping Charbonnet. But I looked at the projection for next week, and it had Charbonnet down to 7.9. So I assume Walker would be back next week. But I'll go to the injury reports, and I'll read the next couple weeks and listen to you Hawk fans. And if he is going to be gone, then I definitely will keep him. Big stop by the Falcons. Not getting there by the Eagles. Wow. Big stop by Philly, but there's a flag on the play. So 2 weeks. What Kenneth Walker's injury is one thing or 2 things? Is it multiple injuries or just one? First down, Philadelphia. Wow. Yeah, and you want to make sure that he's healthy before you bring him back too early, because if you bring Kenneth Walker, the 3rd back, after 1 week and he re-aggravates it, then he might be out a month or go to IR. So I understand the mentality there. Shep, what happened there, bro? Bad play call. 18-15 Eagles. Tough. And Mike Mack is definitely going to be in the running for Coach of the Year. For sure. Again, you go from the Ravens. Now they're 0-2. Seahawks got a new coach. Now they're 2-0. Coincidence? I think not. He's fucking good. And not only that, he's not only improved the swagger and the aura and the vibe, but he's improved the defense, which he's a defensive guy, but he's also improved the offensive line. And those were the 2 bugaboos for the Hawks. They already had the quarterback, running backs, wide receiver. They do need a tight end like Brock Bowers in the future. So I know in the next few years, they'll be looking for that type of guy in the draft, right? Or in free agency. But other than that, keep beefing up the O-line, keep beefing up the defense, and then you're going to have a baby Ravens, and now you might end up going 10-7, 11-6, 12-5, and if the Niners have more injuries, it wouldn't surprise me if the Hawks win the division this year or next year. Pretty exciting. You think it's over? You're GGing it already with 5:38. There's no chance. You can't get a big stop, a pick six, a fumble, a pick, a fourth down stop. Yeah, and it's always good when you can have someone that's young like that, because not every young coach can do that. Like when we had John Gruden, he was very young as well, like right at that 40 age or right under 40. So when you can get someone that's that young that can, command the respect and also get results, hell, McDonald might be the coach for the next 10 to 15 years, I mean, Pete went for a long time, and maybe Mac will go for the same amount. Yeah. But it is 18-15. I mean, it's not like you guys are down by 7 or 10 or even 6 for that matter. You're only down 3, A great 14 years. Yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I mean, he can yip and he can yap and talk shit with the best of them, but that was a hell of a play. Shotgun set, handoff. Uh-oh. And Saquon getting loose. And I think you're right, Shep. This one, that might come back due to a hold. But if Saquon's going to be running harder as the game goes on, yeah, this one might just nail in the coffin. We're almost there. Unless there's a fumbled snap or some kind of crazy shit. That's a hold. That's good for you, Shep. And also, if you can hold to a field goal, you'll still have a chance for a touchdown. And realistically, it's probably not going to happen, but I'm just trying to give you scenarios where there's like a little bit of hope. It might only be 1 to 5%, but at least it's something. Dude, I've been looking at the waiver wire for days. First down and 17. 5 minutes and counting. Man in motion. Handoff. Good defense there by the Falcons. Falcons D is much improved with Judon and Simmons. I like that he's doing things differently than Pete, too. Like when Pete did captains, he did them from the year, and McDonald is doing them week by week to motivate the mid to lower players to play well in practice and, play well in games and to reward those guys. I like that mentality, and something, it's just a little different. Everyone has their own method, and it worked for Pete, but I like that McDonald is kind of switching it up and doing his own thing, too. Hurts, second down and 18, good protection up front. Dallas Goedert, another tight end that just disappeared for fantasy owners. It's like, do tight ends even exist? It's like, why the hell do we even have a tight end position? It's like nobody gets a goddamn ball unless you're Brock Bowers. Third down and 2. On the Atlanta 31. Big third down here. Atlanta needs to stop desperately or a turnover. Atlanta calls an audible on defense at the last minute. Screen pass. Saquon. And he runs over the defender. First down. Eagles. Clock still bleeding. Got another sub, 62. And I like it. We're getting traction not only on the live streams, we're getting traction on the reaction videos too, at least for subs. some of the views on some of the reaction videos, the YouTube isn't helping me. But again, when the Saints fan base is around, I know I'll hit on that video, but everything else is kind of up in the air with reaction videos. Some might hit 1,000, some might hit 100. You just don't really know. Second down and 10 with less than 3 minutes to go. But as long as that, I'm having fun doing them, and it's a lot of hard work, but I'm getting results off of them, at least subs. If I'm not getting the high views, then, that's definitely helping the channel. But it definitely takes a lot longer since I'm making custom thumbnails for every reaction video now. Shotgun set. Saquon, first down. Eagles are very close to the first down marker. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on, the tag words, that you use. And also, YouTube controls everything, so they pretty much determine, who they share your video or your live stream with. They determine, what eyeballs see it, if it's recommended, like they pretty much control like who can make money and who can end up, getting views and who doesn't. Like, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, you can work hard all you want, but you got to be able to get into the algorithm at some point or another. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get to the number that you want. So, but again, the more popular you are, the more algorithm movement you're going to get. So, especially if you're like young and up and coming and brand new, very hard to get in there. But obviously, if you're well established, sometimes, you'll be able to hit the algorithm a little bit easier. Or sometimes they'll end up hitting the algorithm for people that are brand new because they know they can make money off of them, right? So they end up flooding the brand new channels because they're not monetized. So that way, when they end up getting all these views, YouTube is eating off of those channels. So the individuals think that they're popular and they're famous and everything's good. But in reality, YouTube is just trying to make money off of those channels before they get monetized. And then once they end up getting monetized, then that push ends. And that's kind of like the dirty thing that happens. Like, I don't think people realize that. It's all about money. It's crazy. Money runs this world. But we've been doing very good in the analytics and the metrics. Just a couple weeks ago, we were at about 2,000 regular viewers, a month that would be watching. Now we're almost at 5,000, right? So everything is going up, and it's not just on the reaction video side. United States, Japan, Mexico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Canada, Taiwan, Philippines, Colombia, Australia, and that's just to name a few. So it's nice, to be able to, get that kind of respect. And, again, I mean, I've been doing this shit for 12 years, 8 years on YouTube. I'm full-time for 3, but I always predicted on my 10th year, something special would happen. So I got 2 years to go for it to be 10 years on YouTube. And then that would mean I would be, what would that mean for me? That would mean 2 more years when I'm 10 on YouTube. That means I would be recording for 14, but 4 years on other platforms like Facebook. So, and I plan on doing this until I die. So this is my job forever. Third down and 1. But for all the sacrifice that I made, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, yeah, it would be great to have a Michael Jordan rookie card worth like 20 to 30 grand still, but I would rather have this platform with these subs and these people rather than just having an expensive card. Again, that card will be worth 100,000 one day, especially when Jordan passes. But I mean, I could invest in a house or a car, but it's not a dream. And I can end up making that money back, obviously, with this channel over time, and hopefully get another Jordan rookie in the future. Might not be able to get a PSA 9, but I definitely want to get a PSA 8 at some point. One grade lower. I definitely want to get another one before I die at some point, but it's not really a priority. Paisley Pup is the priority. And you guys. I mean, hell, I've had to fucking, I've had to change and, kind of reconfigure myself and the channel in so many ways. Only doing reaction videos and having a partner to do the channel with, and then him quitting, and then having to shift to live streams, and then having to figure out like what's my niche, and then finally knowing now I got enough Mariners and baseball fans that will support me and actually donate. Third down and 1. Tush push. First down, Eagles. And then obviously doing NFL and hockey. Sometimes you just have to grind and grind and grind and then finally figure out what's going to work for you. MSU in the building. What's good? Yeah, and we appreciate you, and I get it. You're going to be very inclined to spend time with Brandon in the 12s. I just really appreciate that, since even though I'm not a Seahawk fan myself, but you still come and hang out with me as if I was, just like Brandon. So again, but I cover everything, so you can still get Mariner news from me that you might not get from Brandon. You're going to get Kraken stuff with me, which you're not going to get from him either. So it gives you that nice blend where you can get Seahawks, Kraken, Mariners here with me, and then you can get all Seahawks with him, as long as the room isn't too toxic, and then you can come back here. So first down and 10. Minute 56 left. 2 timeouts left for the Falcons. They need to stop. Shotgun set. Hand off to Saquon. Short gain. Gain of 4. Second down and 6 on the Atlanta 13. What's good, bro? Nice. Beating fucking Bobby Witt Jr. Nice job. Nice. Tigers and Mariners making a little bit of a push. Congrats, dude. And I know some people gave up on Detroit baseball. It's like you might be a Tiger fan, you might not. You might be a Piston fan, you might not. You might be a Red Wing fan, you might not. But at least you got the Lions, and you got Michigan or Michigan State for colleges. So, not every state is going to be a plethora of amazing. But if you go back and look at Detroit and Michigan's history, of all of the amazing athletes like Magic Johnson, and you're looking at everything with Charles Woodson at Michigan, the Bad Boys, obviously the next generation with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton. So it's like you're going to go through phases where you're going to have good, and then you're also going to have fucking stinky bad. But at least you end up having Scooball, and you're on the up and up, even though, some of these players are still very young. But it's going to mean more to you when the Tigers make the playoffs and end up doing some damage than it would be to some bandwagon fan. Same thing with us Mariner fans. It's going to mean a hell of a lot more for us than just some bandwagon fan that's just used to winning every year. You got to go through the misery before you can have the joy. And it means more. And that's why, fans of small market teams are more passionate. They stick it out through thick and thin. Captain in the building. What's good? Yeah, the reality is that the media shouldn't have said the Atlanta Falcons are winning the division. The division runs through the Saints and the Bucks, and I've won it 3 years in a row. And I want you guys to be good, but again, that was like kind of a curse. Just thinking that Kirk Cousins alone was just going to turn it around, and everyone assumed he was healthy. He isn't. And I do like Bajan and Drake London and Pitts, and I like the addition of Judon and Simmons, but it shows you're nowhere near. You're not to be an ass, but you're on the closer end with the Panthers than you are with the Saints and Bucks right now, at least record-wise. But I know you're much better than the Panthers. You just got to be able to get Penix in there. And again, you got to be able to get a dub. And the schedule hasn't really been kind, but you should have won week 1. So that way, if you lost this game, you're 1-1. And then if you lose to the Chiefs, you're 1-2. And then you can get to 2-2. Who do you have on week 4 after the Chiefs? Scooball on the mound tomorrow. Nice. Jeffrey with a tour. No, nobody's scoring TDs. I saw a graphic on the TDs that have been scored the last 5 years, and we're at the lowest it's ever been. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. Normally, we're at like 120 TDs scored at this point. At week 2, we're at like 60. So appreciate you, Jeff. Second down and 6. Shotgun set, blitz coming. Hand off to Saquon. And a gain of 2 turns into a gain of 4. Feel better, bro. I don't know what's going around, but like I said, I don't talk or hang out with anybody. And I got like a stomach bug for 48 hours. And I'm good now, but I don't know what's going around and whatnot. Obviously, COVID is probably still floating around, some kind of fucking variant. And you got flus and colds and other bullshit that's going around as well. But I'm really shocked that I got a bug because I don't know how. I mean, I barely go to the store. I go to the store once a week to grab like grocery stuff, and I'm only there for like 15 minutes. So I don't know how the hell I got that stomach bug for 2 days, but at least I'm better now, and I hope you feel better too, Captain Oreo. We'll be doing Yankees and Mariners tomorrow, and Yankees and Mariners on Wednesday. Ravens 0-2, Chargers 2-0, Vikings 2-0. Third down and 3. I mean, if you could ever ask for a time for a fumbled snap or a fumble or a interception or a fumble for a touchdown or a pick six, or just hold them to a fucking field goal, right? And then you can, have a chance to try to win the game. And if the Eagles would have kicked the field goal on the first possession, the game is over with a field goal. Because then the score would be 24-15. But it is what it is. But at least on the bright side, Shep, your defense is much better than what it has been traditionally. You just need Michael Penix Jr. in the fucking game. Kubiak, great OC for the Saints. 91 points in the first 2 games. Is that good? But don't be surprised if the Bucs win the division. We're going to give them everything that we got. Baker, LFB, let's fucking bake. And I respect the Saints, but it's going to be a fucking slugfest. They've scored on all 15 drives. That's insane. I mean, you're already on the brink of 0-2. If you lose to the Chiefs 0-3, I mean, how long do you want to wait? But now it looks like a brilliant decision. All those Falcons fans were pissed that they drafted Michael Penix Jr. Now it looks like a godsend. Pass, incomplete. What happened to my hand, Saquon? And that stops the clock. Great for Atlanta. Now kick the field goal, but maybe the Philly is kind of a bully. Watch, they go for it right here and try to win the game. That's what they do. They're bully ball. They're like, okay, should we kick the field goal and try to let Atlanta win? And then watch, Philly will go for it. And if you stop them, you still got to go 90 yards. So we'll see what happens here. But Philly plays this kind of aggressive Chip Kelly mentality. So instead of kicking the field goal and being up by 6, I don't know if that's what they'll do. Let's see. They're lining up for it. Wow, surprising. I figured they would bully ball it, but it's 4th and 3, not 4th and 1. Oh, snap is low. Kick is up, and it's good. 21-15. So you're saying that we have a chance. Let's get a live look in of what Shep looks like right now. This is Shep watching the game. And then after watching Kirk Cousins be like shit for the first 2 weeks, put in Michael Penix Jr. And then this is what Shep will be like after that. And we already know Penix will make mistakes. Look at the quarterbacks in the rookie class. Everyone's fucking terrible. Drake May and Michael Penix Jr. aren't playing yet. McCarthy's injured. All right. Nix is not playing well. Daniels is playing the best, but he's still not really playing good. I mean, he's able to use his legs, but he hasn't been throwing for touchdowns. So, and everyone thought, oh, the Trevor Lawrence draft is great. Right now, you only got one good quarterback out of that draft class, and even Lawrence is not top 10. He's a top 15 quarterback. So again, everyone thinks the next guy up is going to be great, and maybe it'll be Quinn Ewers, maybe it'll be Arch Manning, but it really does show you how difficult it is to be elite at quarterback in the NFL. You can win a Heisman, you can be the best quarterback in college. It don't mean shit. You got to be on the right team with the right supporting cast, with the right GM, the right head coach, and the right OC. You have to have the right defense. Everything has to line up. Jeffrey with a 5. Yeah, but they're, especially now being 2-0, there's going to be more and more talk, But again, the NFC South with the Saints and Bucks disrespected, Seahawks disrespected. But again, McDonald leaves the Ravens. Now they're 0-2. Seahawks are 2-0. Coincidence? I think not. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. And don't be surprised if the Seahawks win the division this year or next year. Or the following year. I could definitely see it happening, especially if the Niners have injuries to Debo, which they already have. If Ayuk, Purdy, Kittle, or Bosa go down, or Warner, yeah, the Hawks can take advantage. And even if they don't get injured, maybe the Hawks still win the division and the Niners are healthy. So we got 1:30 to go and counting. 21-15 Eagles. First down and 10. Well, I think you're already there. I mean, you're 0-2 right now, but, right now the Bengals look like a lottery team, like in the draft already. And like I said, I've been watching football since the 80s, bro. And I know you've only been watching sports for a few years, but I told you, Zach Moss and Chase Brown for Joe Mixon is a huge downgrade. Tyler Boyd, no longer there. Jamar wants money. You're not giving it to him. Burrow is awesome, but Mooney. There you go, Mooney. Look at Mooney. There you go. But again, it's going to be a minute before the Bengals are good again, regardless of what Burrow does. I mean, there's just too many losses on the defense and offense. And then at some point, you might have to fire your head coach on top of that, too. What a route by Mooney right there. Hit him with the shimmy and the shake. He's slippery today. Let's go, Shep. Yeah, Burrow is a stud, but he may never make a Super Bowl ever again. Once you go to a Super Bowl and lose, a lot of those quarterbacks never get back. We'll see if Jalen gets back or Burrow, but I'm just, stating the facts. It's like if you go, you got to win. And again, a lot of times that same team that you had back then is not the same anymore. Jesse Bates III, no longer there on the Falcons. Mixon on the Texans. Tyler Boyd on the Titans. So it's like you don't have the same team as the Super Bowl team that you had against the Rams a couple years ago. I want the Bengals to be good. Trust me. I like Burrow, and also Burrow is injury prone. I hate to say it, but it's true. We always complained about Josh Allen being inconsistent with the picks, but at this point, Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Burrow, and he's a lot more healthier. 2nd and 5. Cousins, incomplete. Flag? No flag. Ooh. Yeah, but you never know if they have a couple good drafts and a couple good free agents. The Bengals can get back, to being a 10, 11, 12-win team, but just based on me looking at that team and the way that they're built, it's like you just can't have an awesome receiver and an awesome quarterback and think that's enough. It's 11 on 11. It's a tough fucking league. 3rd down and 5. 21-15. Falcons with a chance. Cousins, back end zone, open touchdown. Drake London. Wow. I told you, bro. Wow. Shep was in desperation mode, and Kirk Cousins saves his starting job for one more week. Wow. What a drive. Darnell Mooney might be the MVP of this game with some of the catches he had. Look at that route. Drake London took him out of his cleats. Big play Slay. Wow. Big play Slay. Not today. Wow, 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 wow. What a comeback. Slay, what happened? Slay got caught sleeping. Slay is going to lose all his followers on social media. Wow. I told you, Shep, you never can underestimate anything until the game is over. It can look bad, it can look bad, it can look bad. And at the end of the game, what happened? The Eagles lost this game, more than likely, because of the field goal that they didn't go for on the first drive. Karma is a motherfucker. Sports always remembers. And if they would have kicked that field goal, right, they would still be able to be up. Look at this long. Extra point is up, and it's good. It's a long one. Coup is money. Soccer kick. And there's a lot of kickers that would have missed that after a penalty. But if the Eagles would have kicked that field goal, what's the score? 24-22. And what did I say at the beginning of the broadcast? That, the Falcons might end up winning by 1, 2, or 3. What's the score? 22-21. It's that S, motherfucker. S. They felt your desperation, baby. But again, Eagles, if you just would have kicked the field goal, game's over. But they got greedy. They got Chip Kelly. And then you deserve to lose if that's the case. But now you got to play the defense holds up because Jake Elliott can make 50 to 60 yards. So now if you celebrate like you won, you're going to lose. You have to make sure you play very tight D and nothing over the top in the last 34 seconds. And I don't know if you guys can do that. I hope you can, but I don't know. Wow. What a game. What a game. Come on, Jeffrey. It's Kirk, not Kurt. We're not talking Kurt Warner. Kirk. Come on, Jeffrey. You at least got to get the name right. Kurt again. Come on. I mean, anytime you got Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and you got weapons like that, I mean, it ain't over till it's over. Or even Saquon could take a screen 40 yards. So you have to be very, very careful here. Wow, great to have that excitement here late in the game. Shep is praying because he already knows the Chiefs are next week, and that would be 0-3. I mean, unless the Chiefs have a complete disaster of a game, which is not likely. Hurts. Dallas Goedert. Timeout is called. And again, if Atlanta plays a soft cover two or a nickel or dime or zone, it might not work out here. You've got to put pressure on the quarterback, and if you don't, they're going to get dinks and doinks, and Elliott's going to make the field goal, and they're going to win 24-22. Elliott's not a shitty kicker. I wouldn't say he's the best in the world like Aubrey on Dallas, or like clutch most of the time like Tucker, even though Tucker has been a little off in the last 2 years. It seems like Aubrey has taken that spot as being the best kicker in football, but Elliott is still a top 5, top 6 kicker in my opinion. So, but again, the addition of Jesse Bates III from the Bengals, Judon, and Jeffrey Simmons is definitely going to help, but will it be enough? They need pressure. Look at all that space in between the linebackers and the safety in the corner. Shotgun set. Hurts. They need pressure. Going deep. Got a man. Picked. And what did I say? Jesse Bates III. There you go. You bring pressure on the edge. That forces Jalen to throw the ball a little bit sooner. Nice little spin move there. Gets crushed on the ground. 55 comes in. Bang, baby. Let's go. You got Terrell over there, and look at that. That's why Jesse Bates III is one of the best secondary members. And when the Bengals lost him, the Bengals ended up, losing a key piece of their heartbeat, not only on offense, but defense overall. And again, I don't think the Bengals have been the same without Jesse Bates III. And again, if it wasn't for that awareness to make that play, the Eagles are going to win this game. Amazing. You fucking lucked out because you got the Chiefs, and now you're 1-1, not 0-3. Because again, you were very close to being 0-2. Game ball, Jesse Bates III. The Cincinnati Bengal OG. And again, he's already been one of the best secondary players when he was on Cincinnati. And now you're starting to see why I love this guy so much. I'm a defensive guy. I'm always going to be a linebacker safety guy. Look at him play that deep zone. And again, A.J. Terrell wasn't going to get that. The only person that was going to get that, not Simmons, not A.J. Terrell, only Jesse Bates III. And he's the hero tonight. Wow. Yeah, but Eli Apple is trash. If you actually know football, DX, he's terrible. He got burnt in the Super Bowl, and he got exposed. Eli Apple has been a terrible player on any team that he's been on, Giants or anywhere else. So the comparison of Eli Apple and Jesse Bates III is not a good one. You got to do a little bit more research and look to see who's good and who's terrible. And, Eli Apple has never been good at football. He's just a guy out there. Jesse Bates III is like a guy that could be all-pro, Pro Bowl, or possibly a Hall of Famer borderline one day. That's the difference. Wow. Final score, 22-21, Falcons. Yeah, Eagles and Cowboys, it's up for grabs. Obviously, we know Commandos and Giants are trash. You got to understand, I'm like an encyclopedia of sports, brother. And all the way back since like 1985. So, huge win. Shep can take a sigh of relief. Crazy week of football. (22-21) Falcons. Man, what a crazy stream. Anything that you want to see picture-wise, Jeffrey, that's going to be PG, not any adult entertainers or any bullshit like that. If you got an actual photo of an athlete, I can do that. Otherwise, I got to be able to take my dog on a walk and eat dinner, and I got more work to do. So you got an appropriate option for a photo, or are you going to hit me with adult actresses over and over and over again? What's it going to be, Jeffrey? You going to make it PG or no? Kirk Cousins got bailed out here tonight. Okay, well, that means no photos then. Oh, that means no photos then. All right. Well, I love every single one of y'all. Thank you so much for liking, subbing, donating, commenting, and sharing. You guys are the best. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. I'll be live tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific for the Yankees and the Mariners on Tuesday and Wednesday night. And I'm out. Bye.